Are you kidding me? Ah. Damn it. Lose to the Pirates on a day that the Cubs lose to the Cardinals. Ah, are you kidding me? Right there, in your grasp. What inning was it? I ended up tweeting it out. I said, if you can't plate these runs, this could come back to haunt you. And darn it, it did. Foreshadowing as I sat right there at the Tiki Bar last night with a couple of cheeseburgers in paradise, a margarita, a cigar, getting ready for whatever kind of death was coming our direction, which never did show up. Sitting there last night, and they're closing the roof. Ah, so close. All you had to do is plate one more run. Just get one more clutch hit. Couldn't do it. Brewers ended up losing. Back at it again tonight. And then a day game tomorrow that I'm actually going to be at. I'm excited for. I'm going to be at that game tomorrow. So doing some stuff, some pregame stuff down there tomorrow. But I'm going to be at that game. So I'm excited. Hopefully I see the winning game of the rubber match of the series. So I'm excited about that. But, Brewers, you broke my heart last night. Not a great night. But Cardinals won. Cubs didn't. Brewers still 3.5 games back. However, the Cardinals now tied with the Brewers, 3.5 games back. So there you go. So that's how we start off today. A little bit disgruntled, a little disappointed, but that's how we start the day. Good day to you. Hopefully your day is going extremely well. A little bit cooler today. If you're in Madison, oh my goodness. Did you get hit with rain last night? You got really kind of the western portion of the state did, but man, oh man, oh man, did they get a deluge down there near Madison. And the Woodmans there, that's a waterfall feature right there. I don't care who you are. The roof couldn't handle all the water, and next thing you know, thump, right through the roof. I could just imagine somebody there walking into Woodman's going, man, it's raining cats and dogs out there. Holy mackerel. Can you tell me where I can fill up my jug of water? Thank you. Just walking away. How are we looking?
Ay caramba.
Yeah, that was a deluge. Did you see that video, Grant?
I saw the picture this morning. I was a little confused pulling into Madison this morning because we got some sprinkles in the sky and the wind was really nuts around like Pabst Farms, like out in Economowoc, but that was it. It all went north of Milwaukee.
Yeah. It was west and north of me. I got maybe a sprinkle. I went out last night. I'm looking at the sky. I had a couple of branches come off the trees. Nothing big, just small ones. And I'm looking around like, uh-oh. So I was battening down everything, man. I'm putting everything away in the tiki bar. I'm putting away the patio umbrella. I'm protecting the plants, putting them under the table. I mean, I went and closed all the slides on the RV. I made sure that the boat covers battened down, wasn't going to lose anything. Not that I would. But it just, I'm closing everything up, man. I'm thinking, oh, boy, this is not going to be good. I see tornado or thunderstorm warnings and such just above us in Owczarski County and across in the state. I'm thinking, okay, coming out of Madison, here it comes. And it never got here. It just kind of went bloop, right up and around us. And that was all she wrote. So for those that did get hit with weather across the great state of Wisconsin, man, I feel for you. But here, nothing. Got a little drizzle. I actually sat out in it last night as the temperature went from 94 to 79 in a matter of about 15 minutes. And it was sitting at 79 degrees, and it's kind of stayed there the rest of the night. But it just bloop, dropped right off. You didn't really feel a break in the humidity, but you felt a difference in the temperature, like the cool air is starting to come through. But it was blustery, and I thought, oh boy, here we go. This isn't going to be good. So I was making sure I was checking all the downspouts to make sure that they're good, because I know I bumped a few of them when I was cutting the grass before the party on Saturday. And I'm kind of like, okay, I got to make sure everything's cleared away from the house. I don't want any rain. Nothing. That was all she wrote. So, Drue Holiday is on the move. How about that? So valued that they got rid of him. Drue Holiday. See him. Gonski. He is on the move. So he has been traded away from Boston as they continue to kind of blow it up over there. They're trying to get under that 2-tier luxury cap. And so that's all she wrote. So we'll see what happens. By the way, Marv says a lot of damage on the Ridges golf course in the Wisconsin Rapids area. That's not good. I would assume you mean like trees down and things like that. So that happens. Golf courses, I've seen that. That happens. But regardless, at least everybody's okay there. But 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up? Give us a shout. Yeah, Brett says he ended up in Portland after all. Yeah, because, for those who didn't know, Drue Holiday traded to the Portland Trailblazers to put me back on track. Also, today we'll talk a little NFL, and we are going to talk a little Sturgis 85th. The lead singer of the band, Jackyl, Jesse James Dupree at Full Throttle Saloon and Pappy Hoyle Campground. They have put together for the 85th an incredible run. And on this program next week, the lead singer, or not the lead singer, I should say, excuse me, the drummer from the band Disturbed, Mike Wangren, is going to be here next week. Got a text from him yesterday. Mike said, yeah, I'll come on with you. Heck yeah, I'll hang out. Jesse's today. So next week, and leading up to their appearance in Sturgis for the 85th anniversary of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, he's going to join us next week. So we got Jesse today, Jesse James Dupree from Jackyl today, and then Mike Wangren from the band Disturbed, who is going to headline out there on that Tuesday night. He is going to be joining us coming up next week. So we got a lot of good stuff today. So at some point, we'll get Chuck Freimund. Jim Owczarski will be here. Jesse James Dupree is going to be here. I don't know what else to do. This is a banner day. I don't care who you are. So good stuff today. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to find us, you can text us 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. You can find us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com. That is youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. YouTube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us over on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can also track us down, track Grant down at Wisco Grant, WISCO, at Wisco Grant. We've got also our platforms, which is Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well. The THE, the Bill Michaels Show. You can find us at, kind of a grouping of those words. Also, you can track us down via email, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The Bill Michaels is the website, thebillmichaels.com. That's the website. The app, WOZN, The Zone in Madison, our flagship station. The Zone Madison. And then Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts after the fact. And then we are a television show on Saturday nights, 8 o'clock Central Time in Milwaukee, where you can find us. And that is on My 24 TV, 8 o'clock Central Time. There you have it. Well, at least you survived the deluge. You got out of there just in time out of Madison, I guess, right?
I did. Yep. And I went to bed a little early last night, which was a mistake because I missed your text that we'd have Jesse James Dupree on today. So I feel like an idiot. I brought my chainsaw. It's under the desk. And now had I known that he was coming on, I wouldn't have felt the need to bring it. So I'll put it in my trunk.
Sure. You can always play the chainsaw if you choose to do so.
No, last night was good. It was pretty frustrating to listen to the Brewer game on the way home because Chad Patrick gave up, how many runs? The bigger problem for the Brewers last night is they gave up the hits.
Yeah.
Like if you give up 5 runs on 6 hits and it's just a couple home runs from O'Neal Cruz, 18 hits is way too many. That's the point.
Yeah. Chad Patrick got beat up and a lot of high fastballs on a string. And even his breaking stuff was up in the zone last night and they were getting it. So, don't forget Woody is going to make, God, dare I say, he's going to make one appearance, one rehab start, and then he's going to be back. We've said it before. Maybe. Just
get him in, get him out. Yeah.
Get him in, get him out. Maybe next week will be the week in which we see Brandon Woodruff back in a Brewers uniform and on the roster and ready to go. So Chad Patrick might be the odd man out. He might be the odd man out by the time it's all said and done.
I mean, I'd replace him with Logan Henderson, who was really good.
Logan Henderson, yes.
I'd kind of wanted to see Logan Henderson back up here for the last couple of weeks, but whatever. We can wait for Brandon Woodruff too. Yep. It was their bullpen too. Like Nick Mears gave up a big hit, and none of their, other than Ashby, none of their pitchers were really dominating last night. Again, I don't have a problem giving up 5 runs. That happens sometimes, especially if O'Neal Cruz is hitting homers and Brian Reynolds, of course, owns the Brewers. It's the 14 hits over the course of a game. That's what really kind of sucked last night.
The only problem I have with Ashby is God, I wish he'd get ahead in the count.
Same. Oh, 100%.
He just works from behind all the time. And he can't get the curveball. He can't get it over for a strike right now. What is it? The slider, I think, is what it is. He can't get it over for a strike. He just, don't get me wrong, it's got a ton of movement on it, but he can't get it into the zone. He starts it out at about the waist, and it's like he's almost fearful of throwing it up too high in the zone. And if it doesn't have movement on it, they tee off on it. But right now, he starts it out at about the waist, and it's in the dirt by the time it gets to Contreras. And he just can't get it over for a strike. So he's kind of, veered away from that a little bit. But you just got to work ahead in the count. You put yourself in such bad positions. But ultimately, he didn't pitch too bad. But that's the only thing I'd love to see him work on is just attack a little bit more. So anyway, that being said, everything else right with the world as of right now. The Brewers, like I said, remain 3.5 games back. The Cardinals got a win last night. Cincinnati beat up on the Yankees, which was a little surprising. Ellie De La Cruz again providing some of the power for the Reds. A big triple last night off the wall, off that center field wall that I saw. A couple of the highlights, but Cincinnati got a win. So Cardinals got a win. Brewers did not. Pittsburgh did, and then they're all back at it again tonight. So, like I said, I hope that tomorrow that I'm actually at the ball game and watching the rubber match tomorrow, and the Brewers get that victory and then win 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. And then here come the Rockies and see what happens there. So, but the Brewers last night, they had them, I think it was either first and third or second and third with 1 out. Then they got a sacrifice fly, and I'm like, okay, here you go. Sacrifice fly. You're right there. I get it. You just need a base hit. You just got to bring this extra run in. You need to get. And I even tweeted it out that this leaving a runner in scoring position like this is going to come back to haunt you, and it did. Sometimes there is a foreshadow that I get right every now and then, and I just had it in my gut. I'm sitting there watching last night. I'm just thinking to myself, this is not good. If they don't get it here, I don't think they're going to get it. And then sure enough, last night, big moment. They needed a base runner. Ortiz ends up looking at a call third strike. They just buckled his knees, and all throughout the rest of the evening, they just couldn't get it going. So tough day. But the Brewers are back at it again today, and now you've got the matchup. Is this not one of the best pitching matchups that we've been waiting for, or tomorrow, I should say, that we've been waiting for in quite some time? Tomorrow, you've got, Paul Skeens and Jacob Misiorowski. These two guys could have, I was listening last night where they could have ended up on the both guys were being heavily recruited by LSU. And Skeens ends up coming to Pittsburgh. Misiorowski ends up going to the Brewers organization. But had it worked out, both of these pitchers could have been the 1-2 combination on the LSU baseball team. Skeens comes into this. Skeens has got a 1.85 ERA. I mean, he's been absolutely flat out fantastic. Misiorowski, we all know, 2-0, 1.64 ERA, one of the best starts ever in the Brewers organization by this rookie, and just in baseball in general for what he's been able to do. But you can't wait. The pitching matchup, I got so lucky that I'm going to be at this game tomorrow. So lucky. Looking forward to that. Skeens against Misiorowski tomorrow should be incredibly exciting. And then coming up tonight, Haney goes to the hill tonight for Pittsburgh, and then Freddie Peralta at 7-4 with a 2.76 ERA. He is on the mound tonight for the Crew. And again, 6:40 start time down there at American Family Field. So there you have it. Did I miss anything, Grant, in the open today? Anything?
I don't think so. You got the Celtics news that broke just as I was kind of getting ready for bed last night. It seems like the Blazers kind of did the Celtics a favor. I don't know why anyone's interested in doing the Celtics a favor, or maybe I'm misreading it. Jim O can kind of help us with that in 15 minutes here or so. But that was the other big story from last night. It's kind of nuts that the NBA Finals wraps up on a Sunday, and then the draft is that week, and then free agency starts a week later. It seems a little compressed. And I hate waiting so long for the NFL draft, but there's a reason why you space out your events. It's to build intrigue and to build attention, and the NBA is just doing everything in a span of 10 days.
Yep. Just kind of waiting for what else is going to happen. By the way, the Celtics got Anfernee Simmons. Is it Anfernee or Anfernee?
I think it's Anthony Simons.
Anthony Simons.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Simons it would be because there's only one M, so I'm an idiot.
Of course, yes.
Anthony Simons. And a couple of future second-round draft choices. And Drue Holiday goes off to the Portland Trailblazers. So there you go. Boy, I tell you what,
confusing.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Drue Holiday's about to start a big extension, and he's aging. Like, I don't know why Portland wants him, and I don't know why they gave up picks to get him. It's just very weird.
Don't know. By the way, Kevin Durant, I finally looked at the rest of that Kevin Durant trade. Wow, did Phoenix get a haul? Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, they got the 2025 first-round pick, which is the number 10 overall, the 2025 second-round pick, which is the number 59 overall, 2 2026 second-round picks, 2030 second-round pick, and 2032 second-round pick. Now, granted, I mean, you're spacing it out over a period of 7 years, but man, they got a lot in return for Kevin Durant. Talk about mortgaging the future. By the way, I was watching NBA Tonight yesterday, and the discussion came up. Obviously, there's talk about who may go where and what. It's like every team has pretty much the same existing amount of space as the Bucks do. There's nobody that's just flush with cash. Nobody that's just got an overwhelming amount of money to spend right now when it comes to the NBA. It's not like there's one or two teams that are just going to go out there and go, you know what? Here we go. We're going to put together all kinds of money, because every team is over the luxury tax. It just depends on how far over you are. Now, Golden State is $111 million over the tax. The Bucks, $73 million over the tax. They're looking to move some guys around. But there is nobody flush with cash. Boston, by the way, after today's trade, they were the highest. Now they're $102 million over the tax. So, I mean, it's just like nobody's walking around with a ton of cash. I mean, there's Utah, Charlotte, Brooklyn, Chicago, where they're over it, but they're not detrimentally over it. But everybody's over the tax. So it's not like if you're going to do anything in this league as far as moving pieces around, there's very few guys that are just going to be out there on the open market. If you're going to do anything, it's going to be dollar for dollar trades, and you're going to be figuring things out. And my guess is you're probably going to see 1, 2, 5 trades that are made that are going to involve more than just 1 or 2 teams. You're probably going to see 3 and 4 team deals throughout all of this, because there's nobody that is under the tax. I was just going through that last night as well. So anyway, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. Again, 877-867-1670. Find us. We want to hear from you today. And like I said, coming up here, bottom of the hour, Jim Owczarski is going to touch base with us, a little Bucks basketball and NBA. Also, we'll talk with Chuck Freimund at some point today from the Locked On Brewers podcast. Our buddy James Dupree, lead singer from the band Jackyl, is going to be here. We got a lot going on. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Tuesday edition of the Bill Michaels Show. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Veterans America. Veterans America. They are owned by a company called Provisor. And what happened was Provisor, which has been a mortgage company in the state of Wisconsin for a long, long time. And they found themselves, as they were dealing with more and more veterans and military members and families, that they really weren't doing them the best of service. So they started looking into this. And so what James Mercado did, he said, look, we're gonna have some of our best. We're going to branch off, send you to DC so you can learn everything when it comes to the loopholes that we need to be able to figure out on a consistent basis to help veterans, military members, and their families get the most out of their VA loans. And that's what he did. And they became they are one of the top VA lenders for home buyers that are out there. And they know it better than anybody. I mean, a lot of these other credit unions that claim to really cater to military, not so much. These guys do it, and guys and girls, they do it, and they know a lot about it. And I have had numerous emails from people that veterans or military members that said, hey, they saved me a little bit of money. They saved me a lot of money. I had one guy that said, hey, they saved me $56 a month on my mortgage. Another guy told me they saved him over $500 a month on the mortgage. It just depends. But get a hold of James. Call him directly, 262-255-2000. That's 262-255-2000. Or just go to veteransamerica.com. But they know all the loopholes, man, to get you the most. And they really believe in owning the land you defend. So whether it's for a mortgage for a new home or a refi, or you want a second mortgage on, say, a second home, a rental property, something like that, give them a call, 262-255-2000. It's 262-255-2000. That's Veterans America. Own the land you defend. That's Veterans America. Skinny from Madison said it's not a big matchup on tomorrow between these two guys, between Mizorowski and Skeens. And I'm like, wait a minute. Mizorowski is considered by many to be one of the best young arms coming into the bigs today. And he's proven it so far. There's no reason to doubt that he's not. And everything that he was billed to be, with great breaking stuff, with a difference in velocity on his off-speed stuff, and the fact that he's got massive amount of movement now and control via his fastball at 99 to 103 miles an hour, he's everything he was billed to be, the same as when Paul Skeens first made his arrival into Major League Baseball, and he has not disappointed since. Now, obviously Mizorowski doesn't have a long track record of Major League Baseball. He's only got a couple of starts, but they have been spectacular. So that's why it's a big matchup. I mean, it's an exciting matchup to go see. If you love good pitchers duels, that's what you're paying to see come tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Big time.
If Mizorowski was making his debut, you could say he's not proven yet.
Right.
I'd say through 2 starts, he's pretty darn proven. And also, yeah, it's a regular season game in late June. So yeah, it's not the World Series. There's no playoffs on the line.
No.
But over the course of a 162 game season, you should be allowed to circle matchups as like, there's a little something extra going on there, even if it's not directly impacting the playoffs or something like that.
Well, look at it this way. You've got one of the best pitchers in baseball, even though his record doesn't indicate it because his team sucks. One of the best pitchers in baseball going to the Hill to face one of the best up-and-coming arms in baseball that has given you excitement over the last 2 games, the last 2 starts. As a matter of fact, 10 innings of no-hit baseball, who's just been simply fantastic. So, yeah, it's a hell of a matchup. I mean, I'm like you said, it's not World Series. It's not the biggest matchup ever, but it's significant in the sense of these 2 terrific arms with a ton of future, a ton of optimism, a ton of praise. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. Now, some people may not like it because we like action. We like to see ball put in play. We like to see runs scored, and you're hoping that the Brewers are able to, kind of drive up the ERA of Paul Skeens. That's what you're hoping for. But because I don't know, let's say each guy throws 6 innings of shutout baseball with 1 or 2 or 3 hits. It's going to be a fast moving game, and it's going to be a game in which you're probably like, you're yawning a little bit because there's not a lot of action, a lot of strikeouts. I mean, you can get on the Mizorowski side of things, but it may not be an exciting game in that sense. But if you enjoy just a good pitcher's duel, man, sit back, relax, have a hot dog, have a beverage, and call yourself a fan at that point, because tomorrow it should be fantastic. I mean, that's why I said I'm lucky. I'm lucky to go see. I don't mind that. I mean, some people want to see the action. I don't mind that. I love a good pitcher's duel. Always have. Oh, because if you got a chance to go witness greats, man, go do it. To see their stuff at its best, go do it. Or to see a team get to somebody who's considered to be a really, really good, player and or pitcher. So I don't mind that at all. I'm looking forward to that. What else do we have? Tad says, I agree with you. I think tomorrow's matchup is going to be epic. Our buddy Steve says, first of all, up here in Richfield, we had a bunch of wind and then some rain last night. I think the majority of it was closer to West Bend. We needed that rain after the ground baked quite a bit this past few days. Tough luck by the crew last night, he says. I agree that Chet Patrick was beat up, but there was a dink here and a dunk there. The crew just couldn't get the one hit to put them over the hump. Do you see the play by Terang on the slow roller when he fielded the ball, faked to throw to first and pivoted to throw? Yes. Took it over at third. Oh, God, yeah. That was one hell of a play. He's the slickest fielding second baseman in Major League Baseball. Let's hope to the 5th inning, Freddie can get some more efficiency and get to the 7th inning, maybe on less than 100 pitches tonight. That's our buddy Steven Richfield. Yeah, Terang was just a freak. And Terang damn near beat out that dribbler. Had it not been for the the catcher fielding it barehanded, Terang is safe, and that inning continues. But it was just a half a step. I mean, maybe 3 inches of a step to where he got him. And that was a hell of a play. Was it by Bart, the home plate, or their catcher? Had a hell of a turn and throw, but he caught it barehanded, man, and was able to spin and go. But some good defense last night. Darren says, any truth to the Celtics trading Drue Holiday? He's already been traded. He's off to Portland. Portland got him. So there you go. Let's do this. We're going to talk a little bit about that and so much more when we return. Jim Owczarski from the Journal Sentinel is going to join us. We'll put a little bit of a cap on the NBA season. We're also going to start talking a little bit about tomorrow night as the NBA draft is going to get underway. And there is not a team that's under that salary cap threshold right now. Nobody's got a ton of money. Nobody's flush with cash at this point. So we'll discuss what may be just a vast trade market for many teams in the NBA. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Go to PellaWI.com. That is PellaWI.com. At Pella, they have right now 0% financing for 2 years. You can get that 0%, 24 months, first and foremost. So it's easy on your pocketbook. Second thing is they've got a lot to choose from, whether it's the vinyl windows. They've got Impervia, which is stronger than fiberglass. And then you've got the wood windows, the custom windows. You've got different innovations, the roll screens, the hidden screens, the slider windows, everything that they've won awards for, whether it's for curb appeal, home beautification, just the economical factor as far as your heating and air conditioning goes, or when you lay your head on your pillow at night, the safety factor of it all. Because they're installed, they actually close, they actually lock, and it's going to take a truck to drive through that window or door just to get into your home. So there's a peace of mind to laying your head on your pillow at night with Pella as well. Go to PellaWI.com. That is PellaWI.com. Search the rest. And then come back to Pella and say, hey, look, give me a good deal for the product and the window and the installation and the service that goes along with it. And they'll do exactly for you what they did for me. They're fantastic. That's our friends at Pella. Go to PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com, or call them direct, 855-PELLA-WI. That's 855 Pella WI. Jim Owczarski, Journal Sentinel, joins us next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
The Big River Rally coming to La Crosse, Wisconsin, June 27th and 28th. Don't miss the excitement on the main stage Friday night. It's Texas Hippie Coalition and Saturday Night Drowning Pool. Tickets are on sale now. Want more? Follow Big River Rally on social or go to BigRiverRally.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Folks, OKC has one elite scorer. He had 3 bad games, shot 24% from 3. Chet Holmgren disappeared for 5 games. J-Dub disappeared for several, and they won. That's the champion. I'm not sure they do if Halliburton remains in the game. The new NBA, it's like you're battling the CBA as much as opponents.
Welcome back to Bill Michaels Show. As the NBA season has culminated, thanks for joining us today, and we'll get back to some Brewers talk coming up here shortly. The NBA season has finalized itself, and now you start to look forward to the offseason where not one team is flush with cash. They're all above the salary tax, we'll say. And to talk a little bit more about what the offseason is going to look like for the Bucks. And now the Drue Holiday has been moved from the Celtics back to Portland. Kind of interesting stuff there. Jim Owczarski from the Journal Sentinel covering the Bucks and putting a cap on the NBA season, joining us on the hotline. Jim, how you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm good, Bill. Yeah, you're right. It's the NBA seems to just kind of kick itself in the foot all the time, right? Like as you said, Bill, it's the season just ended, and yet the draft is tomorrow. And they just sort of don't let things marinate, do they?
No, and free agency began yesterday. So,
exactly right.
There was not some flurry of free agent deals like we see in the NFL because nobody's got cash in the NBA. I was going through all the team salary caps, and everybody's in the negative. It just depends on how deep you are in the negative. Now, Boston just got rid of some salary by trading away Drue Holiday, so they're the second most buried team in the NBA, and they're going to continue to do some more work to kind of alleviate that problem. But the Bucks are kind of in the middle of all of that. So everybody's looking to make a deal. Everybody's looking for that mid-level exception. Everybody's looking for probably a 2 or 3 team deal. So how difficult is this offseason going to be?
Yeah, what's funny, Bill, is so just to catch some fans up, right? Like the Drue Holiday deal, the Kevin Durant deal. So things like this are going to be reported, sourced out, etc. But they really can't be official until July 6th. And so what does that mean? That means, okay, these teams in general have agreed in principle, right? Well, what it does, Bill, is it opens the door then for other teams, maybe the Bucks, to somehow get themselves involved, right? The parameters are in place, and now other teams can try to wedge in picks, second-round picks, sweeteners, other deals. And you're right, by July 6th, this Durant thing, this Drue Holiday thing can suddenly be a 3-4 team deal. And that's really what's going on right now, because to your point, Bill, the free agency is kind of dead in the NBA. I mean,
right.
Brooklyn's the only team with cap space, and they're tanking again. I mean, their cap space is going to be used to sort of acquire bad contracts, or maybe be the 4th team in a facilitating deal. So you're right, Bill. It's it'll get busy. It'll be interesting, but it's not in the way most people remember.
Okay, so let's look at this, because Indiana's got Halliburton, probably not going to play next year. You've got Jason Tatum down, probably not going to play for a majority of next year. They just got rid of Drue Holiday. It looks like Porzingis or somebody else might be on the market as well, depending on what they end up doing, because they're breaking that up to get way under that second-tier level of salary cap. Cleveland is still good. They're going to have to re-sign some of their own eventually. We know the Knicks are maybe the favorite right now in the East. The Knicks are Cleveland. I saw somewhere that I was looking at betonline.ag. I think the Philadelphia 76ers are maybe picked fifth right now, if I'm not mistaken, to win the East, and the Bucks not far behind them. I mean, the East, to me, short of maybe Cleveland and New York, kind of wide open right now, isn't it?
I mean, you're right, Bill, and it was to begin with. So let's rewind it back to the Bucks' disappointing loss to the Pacers, right? And everyone's sort of freaking out, and now, you know, the Pacers are, you know, what, maybe a play-in team. They were a team that was always greater than the sum of its parts, but let's not make a mistake here. Tyrese Halliburton is the reason they're as good as they are, and you know, they're now a 40-win team, maybe play. I mean, it'll be a pain in the butt, but it's not the same group. Boston, to your point, this was the end of their window. Even if Jason Tatum was healthy, Bill, they would still be making these moves.
Right.
So they're going to be less. Let's put it this way: they will be less than what they were, even if they keep Jaylen Brown. Anthony Simons, we'll see if he stays there. But yeah, there's nothing in a vacuum here, Bill. So maybe Giannis and the Bucks were really disappointed. Maybe they were nervous about where next year could go. But to your point, Cleveland is the clear number 1 seed at this point. But even then, Darius Garland's still going to miss the first couple months of the season. And the Knicks, Bill, I'll give you this. Look, they're a good team. Who knows who their coach is? But based on talent, Bill, let's slot them in number 2, and then after that, Orlando. I mean, look, Bill, it's still, you're still talking about the best player in the conference resides in Milwaukee, and we'll see what John Horst does. But it's right now, if the Bucks can do some smart things, I don't think they beat Cleveland over 82 games. We'll put it that way, right? The Cavs seem destined for another really good run as a regular season team. But are the Bucks that far away from the 2 seed? I'd argue not, because they were just 3 games out of the 3 seed last year, and the top of the conference has really been decimated.
So now that there has been this landscape shuffle, is there anything, either rumor-wise or maybe just player availability, that you've kind of got your eye on going, this might not be a bad deal for the Bucks, a direction in which they should go.
Yeah, this is interesting. So, Bill, I wondered if ownership, and I do believe this would be an ownership call, how willing they would be to flirt with trading that 2031 first this year. And what I mean by that is so by getting under the tax that pick is or out of the apron, it's unfrozen. They can trade that pick. Now, next summer, if they wanted to wait, they could package multiple future firsts and maybe, reboot, trade Dame and kind of redo this all again. I wonder, Bill, either does this summer, this uncertainty in the East, do the Bucks say, wow, if we put the 31 on the table, is the market so depressed? Is there a way we can get us, I don't want to call a star, but that kind of guy, like that 26-year-old who's under contract for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that guy? I don't know. Or does ownership look at it and say, wow, well, the East is kind of crappy. Do we need to put that in play now? Can we wait a year? And I don't know the answers to that, Bill, but I do think I just kind of wonder where the Bucks sort of stand. And look, we're hoping to maybe talk to John Horst here, in the next couple of days with the draft. We haven't spoken to him since the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can answer some of those questions for us. But I guess I'm looking at that. I'm curious where ownership stands on moving those real long-term future assets. Is it like, is it more in play? Or is it, oh no, let's just wait a little bit because we don't have to do it. I'm curious about that.
And the Bucks do not have a first-round pick this year. They've got a second, but they don't have a first. So it's not like they're sitting there flush with the ability to say,
right,
hey, we've got a draft choice we can give you in the here and the now to go out and find that particular player this season.
Exactly right, Bill. It's just a second-round pick they got sort of in the Chris Middleton, that kind of 14 deal they were a part of at the deadline. Oh, look, Pat Connaughton opted in a couple days ago. It was before his deadline was actually the 24th, Bill. He opted in early, so maybe the team has been working out these last few days to see if they can include him and that $9 million in the contract. So I do think the Bucks are going to get involved here, Bill. But again, it could be more likely to be a second, third team type of situation because, frankly, while they do have options in free agency, they really are limited trade-wise.
Yeah.
Pat's really it. Dame's hurt, right? Like, there's really no one else under contract yet. And so we'll just kind of have to see where they can maybe do a touch point with one of those second-round picks and Pat Connaughton.
So off-season, we know we're waiting to find out what deals can be made, and we're obviously waiting to hear what John Horst has to say. And I'm anxious to see what's going to transpire, specifically as this is kind of that, if you want to equate it to the NFL, this is the legal tampering period right now where you can go and make these deals, but nothing can be officially signed, like you said, until July, the first week of July. So I think right now is this like the hot time right now, this next 24 hours, 48 hours, where we may see one or two deals go down because of draft choices and positioning and what is more not available than what is available when it comes to free agency?
Yeah, I think so. Because again, it sort of sets the parameters for early July, right?
Yeah.
Look, if there are teams looking to move picks, and there are, look, Bill, let's just look at the champs, Oklahoma City. I think they currently have 2 first-round picks. Well, guess what? They've already got 15 guaranteed roster spots. They literally cannot acquire any more players by rule. So that means they have to trade guys. Washington, multiple first-round picks. They also literally cannot acquire more players as we speak. So you've got a handful of teams, Bill. Not only is there no money, some of these teams just don't have roster spots. So you're right. These next few days are going to be really interesting with sort of moving around, whether it's moving these picks because they just have to. Houston's in the same boat in some regards there, Bill, where they've got these future assets or assets that look that we just can't roster these players. So yeah, I think the picks obviously have to be done in order to be drafted in the next day. But like the Holiday, the Durant, things like that, we're going to see the build outs of it, the framework of it, and then these other teams sort of trying to get in over the next week.
Jim, great stuff as always, bud. We appreciate it, and we'll do a little bit of a wrap next week once we get past the draft and any other deals that go down this week that are going to be mentioned, because we're all coming up on that 4th of July weekend, which I can't believe. So we're only a couple of weeks away from this whole thing being culminated. Great stuff as always, bud. I appreciate it.
All right, sounds good. Speak to you then.
There you go. Jim Owczarski of the Journal Sentinel talking some Bucks basketball. And, man, there's going to be some shuffling going on. Going to be some shuffling happening. And then the Bucks are the East is a little more wide open, and the Bucks can still be in the thick of things. A couple of moves that might put them right back in it. So we'll see what happens. Thanks to Jim for joining us for a couple of minutes on the hotline. Going to go ahead and take that quick break, but don't go anywhere. We got a lot more to get to. Bottom of the next hour, we're going to talk with James Dupree from the band Jackyl. For those of you that are riders in the state of Wisconsin, big stuff going on for the 85th anniversary of STURGIS and what's going on out in South Dakota. We're going to tell you about that coming up here in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at the Social House, H-A-U-S, West Lisbon Road, Menominee Falls, Brookfield, right there on the edge. Pretty much more Brookfield than it is Menominee Falls, to be perfectly honest with you. But they're the home of the Tiger Burger. They had a bags to this past weekend in the heat. They had a bags tournament, which was highly successful, as a matter of fact. So whether it's the bags tournament, the music on Sundays, checking out just a Brewers game, where you're going in there on Sunday mornings for the cocktail and the free pancakes, whatever it is, that's the Social House, H-A-U-S. Say hi to Dan Della and Allison and the whole staff over there. They're great people. They do a lot of work and give back to the community. They made us one of their charitable donators, so to speak. Big Unit Foundation. So we're always appreciative of that kind of stuff. And they're getting ready to expand as well, hopefully. So that's the Social House, man. A lot of good things going on over there. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
That's fast. Boom. 1 hour down. We got more yet to go. Coming up the bottom of the next hour, James Dupree from the band Jackyl is going to be here. Announcements coming regarding Happy Oil Campground, Full Throttle Saloon, the famous Full Throttle Saloon, as we are going to be broadcasting live out there the first week of August. We're going to do a couple of days at the Wisconsin State Fair out at the Bud Pavilion. And then after that, we're going to be at the Bud Pavilion on the 31st and the 1st. And then starting on the 4th, we're going to have a couple of live shows out in Sturgis, South Dakota at Happy Oil Campground and Full Throttle Saloon on the 4th and the 5th. And we are excited for all of that. And there's going to be some announcements here coming up at bottom of the hour. So if you're a motorcycle rider and you plan on heading out there for the 85th anniversary, and the reason I bring it up is because a lot of Wisconsinites do. There is so many people that I meet from Wisconsin that I have never met before, and I see them on rides out in Sturgis, South Dakota. But this one's the 85th. And I don't know if I'll be around for the 100th or not. That's another, 20, 15 years. So I don't know if I'm going to be around for the next 15 years. Who knows? So 85th anniversary ride. Everybody's going to be heading out there to do a little motorcycling through the Badlands. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, but we're going to make some announcements coming up here bottom of the hour, so you'll want to be aware of that. Stay tuned. Brewers ended up getting beat, but they're back at it again tonight. Freddie Peralta on the hill. Big matchup tomorrow between Skeens and Owczarski. Looking forward to it. Got to get the next two. We'll talk more about that. We got some NFL stuff. We'll talk with Chuck Freimund today, the Lockdown Brewers podcast. Don't go. Oh, my goodness, we got so much coming up. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, after winning their last four and beginning a week-long homestand, the Milwaukee Brewers would fall to the Pittsburgh Pirates last night 5-4. Brewers starting pitcher Chad Patrick went 5 innings, had a career-high 9 strikeouts, but gave up 9 hits and 4 earned runs. And offensively, the Brewers had 9 hits on the night, including a Christian Yelich home run in the 5th, and what looked to be a potential Brewers rally in the 9th would fall short. Manager Pat Murphy said it was an unusual game, but also just one of those days.
Yeah, unusual game, huh? How unusual was that? Punch out 16 or 17 and give up 15 hits and something like that. And every little falls foul by an inch, and Durbin steals the base and then overslides. And Terang at first, and perfectly placed triple in the corner by Kind of 44. Yes, one of those days.
The Brewers now sit 43-36 on the year, 3.5 games back of the Cubs for first place of the NL Central. Tonight, Freddie Peralta will take the mound. First pitch from American Family Field is at 6:40.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
With the NBA season officially over, the focus now shifts to the draft, which will get going on Wednesday. Milwaukee just has one pick over the 2 rounds, pick number 47 in the second round, and all eyes are on Giannis Antetokounmpo as his potential future is one of the biggest topics of the season. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show. Hopefully your day is going well. Looking forward to everything. Bottom of the hour, we're going to talk with James Dupree from the band Jackyl. He's going to be joining us. And looking forward to that. The Brewers back at it again tonight. Need to get the win and the series against the Pirates. You can't have this head of steam coming in and then lose 2 out of 3 to the Pirates. Big game coming up tonight for Freddie Peralta, and then obviously tomorrow up against Skeens as Mizorowski goes to the hill for the Crew. So looking forward to all that kind of stuff. And the discussion, Chad Patrick not on his game, obviously, last night. So it's probably going to be, once Woodruff is ready to come back, probably going to be a few decisions to be made. So we'll get into that discussion as well. But I really like the fact that Woody is just about ready to come back. Now, whether it's Henderson, Woodruff, both, we'll wait and see. But Chad Patrick might be one of the guys that, for the time being, is not, as the last couple of outings have not been great and may not be via the roster. So the one thing about Chad Patrick, he still has options. He's got 3 options remaining. So, I mean, him, Priester still has an option, although Priester's pitched pretty well ever since they picked him up from Boston. Priester's actually pitched good. But I would assume when you go Freddie Peralta, Jacob Mizorowski, maybe you fit, if you're going to bring Woodruff back, you replace Patrick with Henderson or Woodruff. You put Woody after Mizorowski, and you go Peralta, Mizorowski, Woodruff, Quintana, then Priester, and back to the top if you're going to stay with the 5-man rotation. I cannot imagine they're going to go to, I know it was floated out there, they might be a 6-man rotation, but I can't imagine they're going to do that. Not just yet. Not just yet. Especially with the All-Star break coming. But we'll see. But I'm just knock on wood that Woody's able to come back and provide something for this ball club. So 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free. Go ahead and hit us up. We would love to hear from you. If you want to text us, 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. Again, would love to hear from you. So hit us up over there. You can do that. In addition to that, you can also track us down via YouTube. Go to youtube.com, /Bill Michaels Show, youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us there. You can also track us down on Twitter, on X, @Bill_Michaels, @Bill_Michaels. You can find Grant at Wisco Grant, WISCO at Wisco Grant, WISCO, Wisco Grant. You can also find us over there on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well, the Bill Michaels @gmail.com, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Also, the website, simply thebillmichaels.com. The app is WOZN, the Zone Madison. And then after the fact on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcasts, you can find us there as well. And then don't forget, we're a television show as well over there on My24 TV. That is My24 TV in Milwaukee, My24 TV in Milwaukee. And we're looking forward to that also. So good stuff. Good stuff. Is Gerard still there, Grant? As a matter of fact?
Yeah, we got Gerard.
Let's do this. Let's bring in our buddy Gerard. Gerard, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Hey, Bill. I was thinking with all those, things that you're doing and all the networks that you're on, you could never, ever put a bumper sticker on your car. You wouldn't have a car big enough to put all the bumper stickers
you're right.
on.
You're right. Yeah, we just have to put like a show out there or something like that. I don't know how else to do it.
I'm telling you, you're amazing. You really are.
Appreciate it.
But you're always welcome. Brad Stevens of the Celtics is probably, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Celtics fan, because, I could be very pessimistic on my teams, but Brad Stevens is probably the best GM in all the NBA. I mean, he can pull things out of a hat that, very few other GMs can pull. And this trade it's amazing to me. I know Simons has an expiring contract, but he got rid of like 4 years of Drue, and Drew's older, and I love him as a player, and he's a very good guy, Drue Holiday. But he's older, and he got beat up. He couldn't get over the hamstring. That the whole bit. And I think that the next thing to go is Hauser. They need $15 million more to get under the second apron. So if they get rid of Hauser, the 5. But the big rumor is that there's a ton of rumors coming out of Boston, Bill. This is one interesting for the Buck fans. And Brown makes $53 million, and Giannis makes $54 million. So they're talking either Brown and White or Brown and Pritchard to the Bucks for Giannis. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. And I like Giannis, but he's not a fit with Tatum because, like Lillard, Tatum is a ball-dominant player. And Giannis, to me, Bill, can't play with ball-dominant players.
Right.
You know what I mean? He has to have the ball, and he has to have a couple of distributors to make him as good as he is. You know what I mean? Even better than what he is. So I think that's a mistake. And, getting a guy like Lillard, and like I said, if you went to the Celtics, you'd have the same problem with Tatum.
Right.
The same problem, because that's an issue they have. And you were talking about Jair, and as you might have read, Quay Walker and Tom, they're trying to extend them now, the Packers. I just read that. But you were talking about Jair the other day, and you were saying that a lot of these Packer fans are upset that they moved them and didn't sign them for that money.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you should do, Bill, is replay the ex-Viking player that you were interviewing, and and he can tell everybody what he said about Jair. And when you mentioned could he go to the Vikings, this and that, he said, I do not want him on the Vikings, and I do not want him in the locker room.
Right.
Because you need a tight locker room. And that's what he said. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's what he said, and he's absolutely correct. And he was also speaking about announcers and Doris Burke and everything like that. Out of all the women, she's better than all the women that do this. And I can't stand any of them, to be honest with you. And all due respect to the gal that does the Buck games, she said, Bill, a lot of them sound like 12-year-old boys. And they're trying hard to change their voices, and they're so cliche. And, and there are many bad men announcers. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But, I know, and Bill, I would love to call you next week and go through a lot of these announcers and who do we like and who we don't.
Right. That might not be a terrible topic, to be honest with you. It's just to say, who do you or do you not like?
A great topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I know the Buck fans are out there and there, but the Celtics are going to have a very interesting next few days, and the Packers are going to be good because they have $35 million under the cap still, Bill.
Yeah.
And they, according to what I read, and they're going to have a lot of room to extend these guys, and that's a good thing.
Well, that's just it. They're going to extend guys. I don't know who all they're going to. I mean, they've targeted Quay Walker. You assume Zach Tom is going to be one of those guys. You assume they're going to get something done with Elton Jenkins. So there's going to be some money that's going to be spent there. So some of that money is going to be gone. But, yeah, you're right. They're going to have to extend some guys, and they're still in a pretty good way when it comes to their salary cap expenses and capabilities. I agree with you.
Yeah, well, like those, like I said, I could see Jenkins, I could see Tom, Quay Walker. I'm still You know what I mean? I don't give him big money, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I really don't know about him, Bill. I know he came on a little bit better, but still come on, you really want to spend your money on him? I don't know. It's something that's pretty questionable,
Right.
And, so we'll see what happens, Bill. And I hope we could talk about that topic next week about the announcers. I would love that, Bill. I'd love to get
Right. Right. I know. I agree with you, man.
So, thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, bud. Talk to you soon. He drops off. You get on board. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, by all means, go ahead and do so. Yeah, Doris Burke, I had mentioned that yesterday. It's not that I think she's bad. I think she's master of the obvious. Okay. So a lot of people are. A lot of announcers are, especially when you're doing kind of play-by-play, and even some color commentators, they kind of master the obvious. And, color commentators should be the one that takes you inside the huddle, takes you inside the mind of a player, is what they're looking for. So that's why I think color commentators really become valuable assets to a broadcast. But it's that bit of a speech impediment that, I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of it. It's just there's something, that thing. There's something there. It's just, to me, it's audible nails on a chalkboard. That's all it is. So that's it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free to go ahead and do so. Again, 877-867-1670. I do got some text messages to get to. This is out of the 608 from Greg, who says, I'm never going to understand how you can overslide a base on a dry, perfect track. The runner knows his takeoff explosiveness and his sprint speed. That correlates to knowing when to begin your slide, whether it be internal clock, number of steps, or vision. This is something you should be able to do blindfolded and consistently if you hit your mark. That is from Greg. We do see that where guys, go in head first and they just fly past the bag. Or if they do go feet first, they slide past it. They try to touch it or maybe grab the outskirts of it with their hand, and their momentum takes themselves past the bag. And just unfortunately, Durbin just went past the bag. I agree with you. Now, I can't honestly say I know anything about it specifically, only for the fact that I was never a fast guy. I never overslid a bag because I more or less stuck in the dirt like a plane trying to land in a cornfield than it was somebody of any kind of epic speed. But I get momentum. I don't have a reference point in my mind to be able to say, this is what I can do. But I know that I look at guys, growing up, I watched Joe Morgan steal bases, Ricky Henderson steal. But Ricky Henderson was a guy that got a ton of speed and momentum. And then he would, specifically, you go back to the days of some of the cookie cutter baseball parks that had the AstroTurf, he would start his slide just before the cutout and then dive and then slide sometimes past the bag, trying to then hook it with his knees and his feet to still stay on the bag. But it was just unfortunate. I agree with you. But sometimes you have so much momentum because you're running so hard and have so much speed behind you because you're just trying to make a play, and then you get a little bit beyond yourself. I get it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Brad in Sturgeon Bay. Hey, Bill, why haven't we heard from Pat Riley about all these teams talking with free agents before the official start of the free agency season? Because I think for all the griping that they have done, it has basically fallen upon deaf ears. That's it. Tom in Englewood, Florida, talking about tomorrow's pitching matchup between Skeens and Owczarski, said pitching duels are great if you have great seats. Seats away from home plate, not so much. Enjoy the game. Yeah, I can see that. But even if I'm in the upper deck, man, and I'm watching a pitcher's duel and I'm following along and I'm watching two really good hurlers go at it and getting ahead in the count, good off-speed stuff, swings and misses, maybe some long at bats because of just guys that are just flailing at pitches just to be able to create even a foul ball. I think sometimes you have to appreciate the moment, but that's not easy to do as a casual fan. You know, if you're a casual fan that's just showing up to have a few beers, watch the game, chat with your friends, maybe you're there for business, I don't know if a pitcher's duel is your bag, you know? But I agree with you. If you get into a good pitcher's duel, man, it's almost where, like tomorrow's game, you want to keep score because you just want to watch. You just want to follow along, you know, pitch by pitch, because it could be just that good, you know? Cody from Cochrane says, I'll be at the game on Wednesday as well. Do you think the Chad Patrick experience is over? He hasn't looked good in his last few starts. You think they would bring up Henderson or waiting on Woodruff? Oh, Nestor Cortez is going to be coming back as well. So there's Henderson, there's Woody, there's Cortez. You know, man, it's going to be a log jam of arms. And that's why you look at some of these guys that maybe they've hit a little bit of a wall at this portion of the season. A guy like Chad Patrick giving up a lot of base hits. You know, like, you know, we were talking about earlier, you know, that team ended up putting up 18 hits on the Brewers yesterday total. I mean, it wasn't just Patrick, it was the bullpen as well. But yeah, if you're not pulling your own consistently and you have options, you could find yourself back down in the minors just to be able to kind of get a little wind under you, hone a few things, and then come back up when needed. Yeah, but you know, it was interesting because yesterday when we were talking with Tim Allen, the host of the Baseball Postgame Show, the one thing that Tim said, and it rings very true, and it is something that I have to remember, sometimes, most of the time, unfortunately, these things work themselves out. Like just when you're thinking to yourself, man, I got to make a decision, either somebody has a really bad game or two or three, or an injury happens or something happens to where you can say, okay, you know, we're going to make a move here. And then you don't have to worry about something that has to be stated. It's more so master the obvious, you know? So we'll see if it works out that way. Hopefully it doesn't. There's no injuries, but you're going to have some decisions to make. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Head us up. This portion of it brought to you by our good friends at Big Boar Barbecue, not Burn Pit, Big Boar, although Burn Pit is fantastic. Go to Big Boar, B-O-A-R, Big Boar, BBQ.com. They have breakfasts, lunches, dinners. They can cater. Speaking of catering, if you still have that graduate party, whether it's now, this weekend, next weekend, a couple of weeks, you waited a little while, whatever it is, get a hold of them. They can put it all together for you. You can do it yourself, stop in and get it, pick it up, and then distribute it, or they can help you out by doing it themselves. Family owned. Get a hold of Carter over there. Family owned business. Three brothers now own Big Boar Barbecue right there in West Salem, Wisconsin. Just kind of northeast a little bit of La Crosse. Call them 608-612-0387, 608-612-0387, or go to Big Boar, B-O-A-R, BigBoarBBQ.com. That is BigBoarBBQ.com. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from enchanted spins, unreal treasures, and boundless bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess the next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. 6/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes.
A world-famous Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon presents the 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, beginning August 3rd. The legend, Hank Williams Jr. On August 4th, Tesla. Non-stop entertainment. On August 5th, it gets louder and harder with Disturbed. Full Throttle, where the legends play and the rally never sleeps. And on August 7th, the 25th Annual Bikers Ball with Jackyl. Hold on. Someone's going to win a brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycle. See it all live at the Full Throttle Saloon. Book your stay or get tickets for the shows at fullthrottlesaloon.com. Hurry, tickets are on sale right now. The 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally at the world-famous Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon.
Murph, just looking ahead to that rotation picture, Woodruff's on the mend. You guys have a full rotation already, as in some decisions coming down the line. These last 3 outings for Patrick, the way that things have kind of looked, is that going to weigh into the?
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, this is his first major league season. How many starts has he made? 18? Is that right? Not maybe that many. 16? Michael, no.
Today was
16? Thanks, Sophia. He's made 16 starts, you know what I mean? Rookie season. It's a lot on a guy, it really is. Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, there's, you know, we'll have those discussions. But we believe Chad is he's a major league pitcher, sir.
You got to hit it, make it, rock it, put it in the pocket.
Those are the words of Murph. Talking about Chad Patrick. Yeah, it's going to weigh into some decision making. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Go to paysbig.com. That's paysbig.com for all your information regarding the sportsbook, the restaurants, music. They got live music. They got bands in the Rock and Brews. They've got thumping DJs upstairs. They've got some beverages and bars, and you can go through the whole litany. It's all under one roof. Go to paysbig.com. That is paysbig.com. Again, paysbig.com. And the sports book has been a huge success. Huge. So looking forward to that. Hey, bottom of the hour, we're going to be talking with James Dupree from the band Jackyl. I want to remind you that we are going to be this weekend at the Big River Rally. Big River Rally this weekend. So I'm really looking forward to that. One of the cool things, and Chuck reminded me, not only is there going to be a ride, big ride on Friday, big ride on Saturday. You've got Texas Hippie Coalition rocking the stage on Friday night, Drowning Pool on Saturday night. The Budweiser Clydesdales are coming into town. If you've never seen that full horse-drawn carriage, they used to have it every year at the Wisconsin State Fair, and then sponsorship-wise, it kind of changed that. But if you've never seen the whole, I hate to say the dog and pony show, but the dog and pony show, the Budweiser Clydesdales and the wagon and the drivers and the dog, and it is a sight, man. It's really cool. I mean, those famous Clydesdales, that's saying something. So they're bringing them into town, into La Crosse. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to getting out there this weekend. The minute the show is over on Friday, off I go. I'm going to be heading out to La Crosse, Wisconsin. I'm going to be out there for Friday night and Saturday night, and then leaving on Sunday. So a whirlwind of a weekend coming up. It looks like the weekend's going to be warm and decent too. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, get out there and enjoy it. If you haven't got your tickets already, man, you crazy. Hey, even if don't ride, for God's sakes, go over and enjoy some of the music and the fun and everything that's going on over at the Oktoberfest grounds. And then I'll see you on the ride and everything coming up on Saturday. So good stuff. The decision on, I mean, a lot of people speculating as to who is going to be up. You know what I mean? Look, I think you can put Henderson there and it wouldn't be a bad move. I think Woodruff, getting him back into the bigs would not be a bad move. Cortez is going to be on his way back and it's not going to be a bad move. Sometimes, most of the times, these things work themselves out because of injury or performance. However, if you do have a tough decision to make, isn't that the best case scenario? There's going to be a lot of people that differ on what they do. Everybody's going to have an opinion. Oh, they should have done this. They should have done that. Okay. What I would promote at this point, as we know, Woody is going to be on his way back after one more rehab start, unless, again, something happens. What I would love to know is, what would you do? What move do you want to see? Because this is what's going to happen, Grant. The Brewers are going to make a move, and then you're going to have those who sit back and wait for the move to happen say, no, they should have done this and this and this because they're the chronic complainers. So what I would love to know is what you would do. Would you bring back Woody? Would you bring back Henderson? Would you bring back someone else? Or what roster decisions would you make? Because that's what really, kind of, I don't want to say gets me, but for lack of a better term, it does. It does. Because it just, at times, it bothers me when people just want to complain. And when things work out, they're very quiet. So I've already got people going, this is going to be stupid. They're going to do this and they're going to, well, okay, so tell me what you would do. Because if they do it and it doesn't work out, I also want to hold you accountable. Because all you want to do is gripe and complain. For others, if you're right and it works out, man, you're a armchair general manager, and that is kudos to you. Kudos to you. For a lot of people that have a lot of sense and sensibility. But I'd love to know what you would do. Just because.
Based on what I've read, I think that this injury to the elbow to Brandon Woodruff could end up being a good thing for him, because I think he still needs to get his stuff back up to snuff. His fastball can't be in the upper 80s. Like, it has to be 92, 93 at the latest. It's probably not going to get close to 100 like it was. But if he's throwing 89, 90 miles per hour at the high end on his fastball, I have no use for him in the majors until he can fix that. So what I would do, and maybe some Bruce fans roll their eyes at this, I would send Chad Patrick down, develop some things, and bring up Logan Henderson, who was really good in his limited time up here. And I was just looking, because someone asked on the live stream, in his last 4 starts, or his last 7 games, I guess, technically, he's been good. 3-0, 21 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, 6 walks.
Yeah.
Like that'll play. And then that gives you more time for Brandon Woodruff, Nestor Cortez, maybe.
Yeah.
Not holding my breath. That's what I would do right now, because I think Chad Patrick needs to tweak some things and find some things. His command got a little loose. He left a lot of balls over the plate last night.
Yep. No doubt. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We'll deviate away from sports just a bit. We'll talk a little Hank Williams Jr. We'll talk a little about Sturgis' greatest tradition when it comes to music, and that is Jackyl performing Thursday night at Full Throttle Saloon. They've got Count 77 ahead of them. Tesla's going to be there. Disturbed is going to be there. Oh, we're going to talk some music, some riding, motorcycles, and the 85th anniversary of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally coming up. We are going to talk to our friend, Jesse James Dupree from the band Jackyl, longtime friend. We're going to talk with him. That is next on the Bill Michaels Show.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels here. Your two wheels revved up because here it comes. The Big River Rally where the river meets the road. It rolls into La Crosse on June 27th and 28th. Join us for a weekend packed with action. Stunt shows, a killer bike show, food trucks, all kinds of awesome vendors. Friday, Rod's River Run with Texas Hippie Coalition lighting up the stage that night. Then Saturday is the Big River Rally Ride. Miles and miles of pure freedom. Then Saturday night, Drowning Pool rocks the house. Grab your tickets right now. BigRiverRally.com. That's BigRiverRally.com, and I'll see you there.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes.
The world-famous Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon presents the 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, beginning August 3rd. The legend, Hank Williams Jr. On August 4th, Tesla. Non-stop entertainment. On August 5th, it gets louder and harder with Disturbed. Full Throttle, where the legends play and the rally never sleeps. And on August 7th, the 25th annual Bikers Ball with Jackyl. Hold on. Someone's going to win a brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycle. See it all live at the Full Throttle Saloon. Book your stay or get tickets for the shows at FullThrottleSaloon.com. Hurry, tickets are on sale right now. The 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally at the world-famous Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon.
Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. That is one of the best traditions there are out in Sturgis, South Dakota. Thursday night, you're at Full Throttle Saloon. You're hanging out. You got done with a day of great riding, and then Jackyl takes the stage. Looking forward to that and so much more as the 85th anniversary of Sturgis and the motorcycle rally will take place this year. And we have always had a great time going to Pappy Hoyle Campground, which is right next to Full Throttle Saloon. Joining us on the line, the band leader that you just heard, that is our buddy Jesse James Dupree from the band at Jackyl. Jesse, how you been, my friend?
What up, Brother Bill? How you doing, man?
I am doing great. I am excited. I can't wait to get to Sturgis. I see everything you guys have going on. And when you guys made the announcement, not only are you playing and then Count 77 is going to be there, but also you got Tesla, Hank Williams Jr., and then our buddy Mike Rangren and the guys from Disturbed. It's like, damn, you got a hell of a lineup going on.
Yeah, we just added Brother Tim Montana to play with Jackyl on the Thursday night, and it's going to be a family reunion, man. It's can you hear me okay?
I got you. We're all good.
Yeah, I'm sitting at lunch. I'm sitting here with my good friend Robert Patrick. Say hello, Robert. Is Bill Michaels. Hey, Bill. How you doing? Robert Patrick.
We love talking to you, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Robert's in Atlanta. He's shooting Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. He's going to be the villain on the next season.
Love that show. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing Jesse James Dupree on that show.
We all want to be Jesse James Dupree when we grow up.
I'm a distiller. That's all I can tell you. I own a distillery.
Excellent. Can't wait.
Something happens. It's going to be a great season. But we're sitting here at a Mexican restaurant having some chips and salsa. But, yeah, we're excited, man. Thank you for letting me get on here and personally invite everybody to make it out. It's the 85th annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. I mean, what an incredible event it's going to be. We're expecting it's probably the biggest one of the year, like 1 million people coming to the Black Hills of South Dakota. And whether you ride a motorcycle or not, you need to come out there. Once you get on the Full Throttle property, Bill, as you already know, you don't technically have to go anywhere because we've got everything you need. We got an all-you-can-eat breakfast and dinner buffet. We got a convenience store. We've got an Olympic-sized swimming pool. We got 3 racetracks. We got an airport where an airplane takes you up parachuting. We got helicopter rides. We got the Full Throttle Saloon, the largest stage in South Dakota. We got 300 voluptuous go-go dancing bartenders if you like that kind of thing. We got a cold belly washer, which is Jesse James Bourbon, and we got the lineup to beat all lineups. We got Hank Jr. on the Sunday. We've got Tesla on the Monday. We've got Disturbed on the Tuesday. We got Gretchen Wilson, the redneck girl, on Wednesday. We got Jackyl with Tim Montana on the Thursday. Pam Tillis on the Saturday with live bull riding. We're going to actually have live bull riding inside the Throttle Courtyard. And you don't want to miss it. You can come up there and stay on the Pappy Hoyle Campground. You make your reservations at Pappy Hoyle, PAPPYHOEL, campground.com. Come stay with us, and your campground passes gets you into all the concerts.
or you can upgrade your tickets at fullthrottlesaloon.com if you want to be on the side stage area or the VIP area or up on the bridges. Have you seen the videos of Michael building the bridges back?
We have played them. We played the ad. We played Michael building the bridges. We played just about everything. I put it on the social media platforms. It's going to be a fantastic venue. Hey, I gotta mention too, I know you got a great lineup, but you always do something really cool and you give a motorcycle away. And that's what's really neat about that is you do a lot of things with the military. You do a lot of presentations, but also you give away a Harley Davidson on stage. Talk about that.
Well, thank you for bringing that up because I'm very proud of the relationship with the Harley Davidson Motor Company. We've got two big things going on. We've got the rolling Milwaukee to Sturgis, which you can go into your local participating Harley Davidson dealership and register to win one of two Road Glide Harley Davidson motorcycles, top of the line Harley Davidson Road Glides, or you can also win one of two $5,000 gift cards. You can win a 3-day trip for two to Sturgis. I mean, you can come out, you can be standing on stage with me, one of 10 people during the Jackyl concert on Thursday night, the legendary Full Throttle Saloon. You can be on the stage with me. All 10 people get to pick a key out of a bucket. And if your key unlocks the forks and starts that motorcycle, you've seen it before, Bill, they win that motorcycle. Yeah. And you've been there right whenever you've helped me host that before. So I get to feel like Santa Claus. And we do have winners. You can go to Rolling USA Facebook page if you want to see. I just gave the Rolling Laconia motorcycle away last weekend, and you can check out the winner was from Texas, a guy named Rick. So we do have winners. Matter of fact, I just called the winner today of the Rolling Austria, the Rolling to the trip to European Bike Week.
Wow.
A guy named Ryan out of Evansville, Indiana won it. And it's so cool to be able to, there's no other manufacturer in the world that's giving their customers a chance to win so much. The Harley Davidson Motor Company, that's who does it. And I'm proud to be working with them. I ride, a huge fan of the brand and just invite everyone to get on the good foot and get your Harley Davidson and come to Sturgis. And if you don't have a Harley, you can come out there and you can win one. And we will be giving it away. Now, once you register for Rolling Milwaukee to Sturgis, you're just one step away from opting in for the Let's Ride Challenge, which means all of your miles matter. And if you participate, every dealership's doing it. You just tell them you want to be part of the Let's Ride Challenge. You'll enter into it. You're putting your VIN number and your mileage. And when we all collectively hit 50 million miles between now and the end of October, Harley Davidson's given $1 million donation to our Veterans Organization partners. And along the way, you got a chance to win one of 5 Harley Davidson motorcycles. So it's the summer of Harley Davidson, all kind of great stuff going on. And you're always right in the middle of it. So I appreciate you so much letting me get on here and spread the good news.
Two things, Jesse. One is I got to ask you, how long have you and Jackyl been rocking? Because you and I go way, way, way back to the 90s in our first meeting. But how long you guys been doing it?
This is our 32nd year.
Man, that's a good time. That's a lot of parties, man. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to stop and think about it because I'm not through taking as big a bite out of life fast as I can possibly take. And it just every show's Madison Square Gardens as far as we're concerned. And Disturbed, I mean, hell, they're bringing the same production they had at Madison Square Gardens. I think they're going to have it in Sturgis and pyrotechnics and everything. And of course, Hank Jr., you never know which Hank you're going to get. So I'm hoping we get a good dose of the right Hank for Sturgis because he's really pumped up about it. He was very excited to be coming to Sturgis.
And I'm just going to tell you that I am, as we sit here, I'm getting text messages and emails from people that come to the ride every year, and they said the ride's not the same unless Jesse James is there. So all we're doing in Sturgis is kind of priming the pump to bring Jesse James Dupree back for our 18th annual motorcycle ride, benefiting our veterans back here in Milwaukee, brother.
I was just meeting with the Harley Davidson Museum, and and they were going, please make sure that we're part of it. They always love the partnership with you, and it's what a great event you do. And I mean, you raised millions of dollars for the Fisher House, and worthy cause and great folks. And our buddy Tim Duffy, I've been keeping in touch with him.
Yes.
He's recovering from his tragic car accident, but you and I work together with the Harley Davidson Motor Company, and we're getting his motorcycle, the legendary motorcycle that he rode into 9/11 as a firefighter. He rode that Harley Davidson into the World Trade Centers to go help rescue his fellow men and women and firefighters, and just what a hero he is. And we're wishing him a continued speedy recovery, and we're getting that motorcycle rebuilt for him. The motor company stepped up, and they've almost got it completed. And I can't wait till the day they present it back to him.
Yeah, I want us to be there. So when they do, wherever we're at, I think we take a little time. You and I jump on a couple of flights. We band in arms and we go give that back to Tim, because you were the instrument in doing so and keeping that world famous motorcycle together. So kudos to you and your heart and what you did too.
No, we did it together. It's a humbling opportunity to be part of it. Maybe Robert will ride. Robert, you ain't scared to ride up there to just give Tim Duffy his bike back, are you?
Oh, no, not at all.
Excellent.
I love to go on a ride anywhere you want to go, buddy.
Absolutely. Robert and I just rode up to Memorial Day. We rode up to the Ride to Remember in D.C., and you talk about a moving experience. God, it was heavy.
Yeah, it fills your heart with a lot of pride, doesn't it?
It sure does. And I was proud of Robert because of all the work he does for the veterans and the Gold Star families, and just to see the connection there. It's just, we're part of a really special fraternity, people that like to put those two wheels in the wind. And there's not a more supportive and charitable bunch of people that'll give you the shirt off their back, step up for our first responders and military at the drop of a hat. And so, yeah, I mean it sincerely. I know you hear a lot of people say that, but I'm telling you, I mean it.
Yeah.
When I say it, and we're going to be celebrating it in Sturgis for the 85th annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. We invite everyone to be part of it. You can get your tickets for the concerts and the upgraded seats for the fullthrottlesaloon.com. You can get into the concerts if you make your reservations and stay with us at the Pappy Hoyle Campground.com, PAPPYHOEL campground.com. And come camp beside Bill. He's got a little party going on there. I'll guarantee you. You know which one's Bill, because late at night, the campers are rocking.
You the man. Jesse, pleasure. Thanks to Robert for joining us as well. We'll be watching Tulsa King when it comes back out the new season. And you and I will talk real soon. But, man, God, I love you, and I love you all you do, okay?
Love you too, buddy. Thanks, you, brother.
Buddy. Talk to you soon. There you go. That is Jesse James Dupree from the band Jackyl, and all that they do for our veterans and our military members and such, and they are just fantastic people. So thanks to Jesse for joining us for a couple of minutes. Again, we're going to be there on site doing our broadcast at the Pappy Hoyle Campground and Full Throttle Saloon coming up that first week of August, and we hope to see you there for the 85th anniversary of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Going to go ahead and take a quick break. What a great segment. And hopefully that fills you with a lot of pride, especially if you ride. Get out there and join us. We hope to see you out there at Pappy Hoyle Campground. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket.
A world-famous Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon presents the 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, beginning August 3rd. The legend, Hank Williams Jr. on August 4th, Tesla. Non-stop entertainment. On August 5th, it gets louder and harder with Disturbed. Full Throttle, where the legends play and the rally never sleeps. And on August 7th, the 25th annual Bikers Ball with Jackyl. Hold on. Someone's going to win a brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycle. See it all live at the Full Throttle Saloon. Book your stay or get tickets for the shows at fullthrottlesaloon.com. Hurry, tickets are on sale right now. The 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally at the world-famous Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. 6/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in the Bill Michaels Show. We are glad you are with us. This portion of it brought to you by our friends at J&L Tire and Service Center, saying thank you for voting them the best tire dealer out there in the Johnson Creek area and the Watertown area. They do fantastic work. And for the one located in Johnson Creek, it's just above 94 at the Johnson Creek exit. And whether you're going in there for a simple thing like, minivan and oil change and some new tires, or you want to get some major work done on your 18-wheeler, either way, they can handle it. They have the facilities for both major engine repair, trailer repair, air brakes, brakes in general, you name it, engine work on both, like I said, your vehicle or your 18-wheeler, delivery trucks, whatever it happens to be. They've got facilities for both, and they've been doing it a long, long time. That's jnltire.com, jnltire.com on Boulder Road in Watertown, and then the one that you can see right off of 94, just north of 94 at the Johnson Creek exit, right there in Johnson Creek, Wisconsin as well. That's jnltire.com. That's jnltire.com. I want to remind you that our motorcycle ride, as Jesse James Dupree from the band Jackyl just so eloquently put, we are going to be doing the motorcycle ride coming up on Sunday, August 31st. That is Sunday, August 31st. And we hope that you're going to be a part of it. We hope to see you there. We're working on getting Jesse back again this year. So we're looking forward to having him hopefully send everybody off in style. And our friends from Harley Davidson and the motor company that ride along with us every year, we want to see them as well. We want to see them out and continually working towards the 20th anniversary of this since we put this together years and years ago. So we're really looking forward to all of this. And hopefully Jesse can join us, and hopefully you can join us as well. Coming up after the top of the hour, the former quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, just dropped a bit of a bombshell. And we're going to discuss that coming up here at just after the top of the hour. But he just dropped it. Also, speaking of that, not necessarily a bombshell, but coming up after the bottom of the next hour, we're going to be talking with our buddy Chuck Freimund from the Locked On Brewers podcast is going to be joining us. We'll talk with him about Chad Patrick and his time limited maybe in Milwaukee as far as being with the big league team. He's got some options. You got Woody that's making his way back, and probably one more rehab start there. Knock on wood that it goes well. You got Nestor Cortez, who's eventually going to be coming back also. So you've got some arms that are going to be coming out via the cavalry and adding to an already pretty good rotation of guys. So, as Pat Murphy said, yeah, last night's start and some of the prior starts to that and where he's at right now, he might need a little bit of a rest. He might need some time back down in the minors for the time being. Who knows?
I'm going to text Chuck and tell him that you said that, by the way. He said, Bill didn't exactly call your upcoming appearance a bombshell. Hey, Chuck, I think I might need to gas him up to try to get him to bring something a little spicier, a little hotter at 12:35. I'm going to try to motivate him.
Right. So Chuck is going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. But after the top of the hour, you're going to hear Aaron Rodgers in his own words dropping a little bit of a bombshell, something that was somewhat expected, but now it's, for the most part, we'll say 99% sure that this is going to happen. So Aaron Rodgers, just a little while ago, making a bit of a statement. For those that were just texting and emailing, again, wanting the website for what Jesse was talking about and heading out to Sturgis this year, you can check out fullthrottlesaloon.com for all of the concert information, fullthrottlesaloon.com. Or you can go to Pappy Hoyle, Pappyhoel, pappyhoyle.com. I think it's pappyhoylecampground.com, pappyhoylecampground.com. And that is where you can book your stay. And that's where we stay. So I'm sure you're going to see us on the property running around there somewhere. But we always get a chance to see a lot of Wisconsinites, man. And it's great. And the best part about it is they have that great big Olympic-sized pool that's right there. They got a big gun range on the back of this thing, too. So I know some people bring a few bang-bangs with them. And they got a gun range. They've got the Flat Out Friday track racers that come out there. And our friends from the Flat Out Friday crew and the Mama Tried crew, they're all out there, which is based here in Milwaukee. So they come with us. They've got the Eagle Riders right out there. So if you need to rent a bike, you can do that. So they got a lot of land and a lot of great activities, as he had stated. But everything's kind of on one property. You don't even really have to even venture into Sturgis if you don't want to, even if you don't ride. But they have everything from campers to rent. They bring your own tents and spaces, and they have full hookups. They have cabins, all of that stuff at Pappy Hoyle Campground, HOEL, pappyhoylecampground.com, which is basically Full Throttle Saloon's Pappy Hoyle Campground. And when you see that video of Pappy Hoyle and they show the front of the building of Pappy Hoyle, you look at that deck upstairs that overlooks the Butte, overlooks Full Throttle and the entire property. That's where we do our broadcast from. Oh, it's beautiful. It's stunning to get up there every morning and just see the sun come up and see the people begin to wake up and the motorcycles start to roar. It's spectacular. I can't wait to get out there. All right, coming up next, he just said it. Aaron Rodgers dropping a bomb. He just said it. We're going to talk about it. You're going to hear it next on the Bill Michaels Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Pirates and Brewers going to meet again tonight after Pittsburgh took the first game of the series yesterday, 5-4. The two teams came into the game going different directions, with Milwaukee winning 4 in a row and Pittsburgh losing 6 of 8. The manager, Pat Murphy, says that's just baseball.
We didn't do everything we needed to do, but, there's some great performances, and how do you get mad at a team that's done what they've done since the end of May? But it just goes to show you, any guy in the mound, anybody beats anybody any given time. We got to fight back.
Milwaukee going to attempt to fight back by sending Freddie Peralta to the mound tonight. He comes in 7-4 with a 2.76 ERA. He allowed 3 runs over 5 innings in his last start. The Pirates will counter with Andrew Haney. He comes in 3-6 with a 3.94 ERA. He got knocked around his last start, giving up 7 runs over 4 innings against Detroit. Milwaukee enters tonight sitting in a tie for second place in the NL Central with St. Louis, and 3.5 games back of the first place Cubs. First pitch tonight set for 6:40.
ABC of Wisconsin is the largest apprenticeship program in the state, with more than 2,000 active apprentices in 12 different skilled trades. In the ABC apprenticeship program, you earn while you learn on the job, get paid to go to class, and graduate with a job in your craft, but without the huge college debt. Explore 12 different construction trades in one spot at buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
Well, the NBA draft will get going tomorrow night in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. The Bucks not scheduled to pick in tomorrow's first round, with their lone pick in the draft coming up in the second round, which is on Thursday night. That's also where former Wisconsin guard John Tonje could hear his name called. He's moved up most mock drafts and is now projected to go in the middle of the second round. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Jackyl.
Welcome in. Just past the midway point, the Bill Michaels Show. Bottom of the hour coming up. Chuck Freimund from the Locked On Brewers podcast. He'll join us. Talk a little bit more about this Brewers team. You want to chime in? You can. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can text us 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. He just dropped a little bit of a bomb. I shouldn't say a little bit of a bomb. It's kind of a bomb when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. And making really, since, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is his first appearance on the Pat McAfee show since he showed up and began practicing with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Since they became official and exclusive. Yeah.
Correct. So that being said, he just dropped this bomb on the Pat McAfee show moments ago. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a 1-year deal. Steelers didn't need to, put any extra years on that or anything. So, this was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. I mean, I played 20 freaking years. It's been a long run, and I've enjoyed it. And what better place to finish than in one of the cornerstone franchises of the NFL with Mike Tomlin and a great group of leadership and great guys in the city that expects you to win.
There you go. He's pretty sure this is it. This is it. This is going to be Aaron Rodgers' last year in the NFL. It's 20 years. Obviously, not going back to Green Bay, but going to end with a cornerstone franchise. He had said in there that he has nothing to prove. He doesn't come into this with a chip on his shoulder. I don't know how much of it, when you talk about just playing the game to play the game, I believe. Just for the fact that, Aaron Rodgers has always in some way, shape, or form had a chip on his shoulder. But what he did say was that once it's over, you won't hear from him again. He said, I'm only living my life publicly, so to speak, because I'm playing football. But once he retires, he said, that's it. Now, we'll see. We'll see, because a lot of what Aaron Rodgers does makes news. But as he stated, that he believes that this is it. This is it. Aaron Rodgers stating that this is going to be his last year playing in the NFL, and he's going to end it. He's going to end it with his year in Pittsburgh.
What similarities and what differences did you hear in that messaging from Rodgers compared to maybe what you heard from Favre towards the end in Green Bay? Anything strike you?
Yeah, a couple of things. Favre, it was emotional. It was painful for him. Rodgers is very much resided to the fact, but leaving just enough of that 1% door open to say, well, if there's like a good run, maybe I'll do one more. But I think Rodgers I don't think he wanted to go out the way they went out last year. I think he wants to give one more oomph to to basically go out on a high note, no matter what. But I think, once you start talking about it, and, he even said it. He said he had some other things going on in his personal life. He didn't want to, have pressure on the team to answer questions and pressure on him to answer questions about not being there. And this was all something that Andrew Filipponi, who joined us on this program and is a reporter in Pittsburgh, who stated, he said, look, Rodgers is going to be here. He told everybody that. He told Mike Tomlin that. It's just he doesn't want to be here for the voluntary workouts, and he doesn't want to have people answer for him. So he said he'd wait until the mandatory minicamp, and then he'd come in and start working with the guys. And he had other things going on, and that's what took him away. And that's it. So, but what I hear is in his voice is he's resided to the fact it's 20 years. It's a long run. It sounds like he's ready to go away, but he's got one more. I'm going to completely give you everything I have, focus of 100% on football, and then I'm going to be peace out. I'll talk to you later. Now, whether or not he stays away, and I'm talking from the public spotlight, we'll wait and see. I still think he's going to do certain events. I still think that there'll be things much like what is the Pro-Am that he likes to play in? Is that the Lake Tahoe? Pro-Am?
Tahoe for sure. Does he do a thing at Pebble Beach too?
Maybe it's Pebble Beach too. Yeah,
I know for sure there's one at Tahoe because that's where the mountains are. But right. I there might be more than one.
There's a couple of them that I know he really enjoys doing. You'll probably see him every year at the Kentucky Derby, and those are some of his favorite places or things to do. But I don't think you're going to see much of him. I think that he will just fade away. I think he is half already 1 foot out the door.
If you were to listen to that as pessimistically as possible, you could draw that conclusion. He's talking about, look, I want to go out with a lot of, what did he say, peace and love and unity. Like it sounds very retirement tourish.
Right.
So if I'm a Steelers fan and I'm like, we have TJ Watt and Cam Hayward and all these players, and we just got DK Metcalf, like this is a year that we need to win. Right. Like, I don't know how that would land with me. It's impossible for me to know because I'm not a Steelers fan, so I don't know what their mindset is.
I think if I look at it as you knew he was a bridge gap, you knew he wasn't a long-term answer, 1-2 years tops. So whatever deals you need to make to move up in the draft to get someone, Pittsburgh's eventually going to have to make to get that franchise quarterback. And maybe they have it already. Well, maybe Will Howard's the guy. Maybe they believe Will Howard is, coming out of Ohio State in a national championship. Maybe they believe he's the guy. Who knows? But he's going to have a chance to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a year and just learn. And see what he can kind of figure out. And then if they have to make another move to try to move up and get a quarterback for next year, because they're not going to move up to number 1 and get Arch Manning. Unless a team that, the top 2 or 3 teams fall and they already have their quarterbacks of the future, but, we'll see.
It could happen, I suppose, like if the Titans are the number 1 pick or,
right.
Some team already with a quarterback.
Yep. So we'll see. But other than that, he sounds, like I said, I'm maybe 99, maybe not totally 99, maybe 95, whatever. But he and that's the reason he said, I didn't want to do a long-term deal. I didn't want to do a big deal. He said, I just wanted to come back and play one more year. So he's doing it for what, 10 million with the ability to make 13 or 15 million or something like that. So yeah, he took a lot less money to go to Pittsburgh and to see what he can accomplish there with those guys, with TJ Watt, with Cam Hayward, with all of those guys. So we'll see. And, Aaron Rodgers making a statement that he believes this is it. So we'll see. Somebody brought it up a little while ago. When you look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers, what is he? 1-5, 1-6 in his playoff appearances. When you look at NFC Championship games or something like that, and the defense has given up over 30 points per game in his losses. I think that was one of the trivia questions or something like that. It was either today or recently or something like that. It might have been on ESPN. I can't remember. I heard it somewhere, but somebody
on Get Up. They do those trivia questions in the morning, right?
But somebody just had it on the live stream. Somebody just posted it on the live stream. So, but yeah, he just made the announcement that this is it. So, and again, and for a couple of people that are saying, well, then we won't have to hear from him anymore. Good riddance. Now, Mark and Gene and Mike, he'll be back. He'll be back in Green Bay. To what extent, I don't know. Maybe he comes back to Green Bay to officially announce his retirement. Maybe he doesn't do it at all. Maybe if it's Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't do a presser. Maybe he just has his agent or somebody say this paperwork has been submitted and he is officially retired. And he just fades away until he gets inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And then at that point in time, comes back to Green Bay and receives the adulation he deserves. I don't know.
I kind of hope he pops up here and there. Just gives us a little nugget, gives us a little something. I brought him up when I was broadcasting Friday night at your studio last week because there was a couple stories about his marriage and his family knew nothing about it. And I brought it up on the show because it's interesting. It's summer. It's not a super busy time. And people, commenting, why he's not our problem anymore. It's not a problem. It's entertainment. All sports it's an entertainment product. And he's this massive celebrity. Yeah. We're not dumping on him, but if he makes headlines, we're going to talk about it. It's interesting. It's fun.
It's a headline. I mean, you can't deny he's got a Super Bowl ring. He's got 4 MVPs. He has been statistically fantastic. Are there missteps along the way, when it comes to play on the field? Yes. But let's remember, here's the thing, that for as much as he can make you pull your hair out with some of the crap that he has spewed, okay, as people call him the diva, whatever, he's never gotten into trouble. He's never been suspended. He's never been fined in the sense of doing something detrimental to the team. For years, he was always the guy that was in camp giving it his all. It wasn't until dwindling down towards the end that everything got set into motion when, as a veteran, he felt he was being disrespected, that it became public. But he was the consummate professional and teammate to many for a long time. For a long time. Some will say when he won the Super Bowl that was when the chip came off of his shoulder and the plateau of arrogance began. But you can look at his career and say, yeah, this guy, for the most part in the off seasons, was showing up. It wasn't until he began to really kind of go down that Brett Favre-esque path in the latter portion of his career that things began to become similar to what Favre did or went through. But Aaron Rodgers was always a pro, man. Always a pro. And you may not like him. And there's times that, I've been hard on him. But you can't deny that he's been one hell of a quarterback. All the other personal stuff aside, all the other family stuff aside, all the other, people that he dated and ayahuasca and all that stuff aside, he's been one hell of a quarterback. And I think over time, when he does return, like I said, he will come back and get his adulation because it's deserved. And I think if he does go away, and he's not making headlines for goofy reasons, I think when he does go away, when he finally comes back, people go, oh, okay, that's the guy that was great. That's the guy that, took us to a Super Bowl. That's the guy that, along with Charles Woodson, was able to hoist a Lombardi trophy, and Clay Matthews and company. And that's the guy that, threw that touchdown to Greg Jennings and was, a leader of that team with Charles Woodson. So I think he'll come back and get a lot of deserved ovation, but it's just the announcement of, I'm pretty sure is what he said. I'm pretty sure this is it. So that's why it's like 95% of me says that this is it. Say this year, Grant, he has a terrific season and Pittsburgh comes 2 games, they get that win in the postseason. Finally, Mike Tomlin gets the elusive first round win, and they get a win in a very tough division. And they get a win in the postseason, and say they even get to an AFC championship game, and maybe they fall short. Do you think Rodgers comes back for one more year if he plays extremely well?
I feel like there's got to be some world in which he would come back. I don't know what it is, because I don't really know what his biggest focus is right now. Like, I'm sure he'd love to win a Super Bowl. but I don't know where his head is. Like, why is he still? He talked about his decision to come to Pittsburgh as a choice made for his soul, or something like that.
He's always wanted. He's talked about it. He's always wanted to ride off into the sunset the way John Elway did, walking out, trophy held high, finger in the air. This is it. This is the end of my career. That's the way he's always wanted to ride off into the sunset. So that I know. So that's probably sitting there in his mind going, oh, man, I'd really love to get this. So yeah, to say you're not playing, he's playing with motivation, maybe not the chip, but he's playing with motivation, certainly, because that's the way he would like to go out, without a doubt. Whether or not they're going to be able to hold up with a team that's got a few guys on there that tend to get banged up more often than not, we'll have to wait and see. And if he can kind of, keep it all together, so to speak, we'll see. We'll see what kind of a season he has. Wouldn't the irony be, you know what? Let me do this. There is an irony I'm thinking of. That would be very much deja vu. Very much deja vu. We'll talk about it when we come back, because I think that would be, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I would have to I'd have to take a really serious look at this, if indeed this path followed in this same direction. So stay tuned. I'll tell you what it is when we come back, because there's an eerie feeling about this. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Buzzard Billy's. Buzzard Billy's on Pearl Street in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I will see you out there this weekend for sure. The Starlight Lounge upstairs, you better believe it. The 50-style cocktail lounge located on the second floor. I can't wait. A little Buzzard, but even though it's going to be warm, I know it's going to be warm out there, but I'm telling you, beer cheese soup, man, that goes down easy no matter what the weather is. Yeah. Get a salad to go along with it. Hell yeah, but you got to get the beer cheese soup. Heck yeah, going to go in and stop in for that. Say hi to the gang over at Buzzard Billy's, the Starlight Lounge on Pearl Street in La Crosse, Wisconsin. We will see you out there for the Big River Rally coming up this weekend. Damn straight. That's our friends at Buzzard Billy's Starlight Lounge, Pearl Street, La Crosse, Wisconsin, right there in an 1860s old brick hotel. Love those places. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Big River Rally coming to La Crosse, Wisconsin, June 27th and 28th. Don't miss the excitement on the main stage Friday night. It's Texas Hippie Coalition. And Saturday night Drowning Pool. Tickets are on sale now. One more? Follow Big River Rally on social or go to BigRiverRally.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Summertime is grilling time. Get your grill on. BurnPitBBQ.com. BurnPitBBQ.com. We served it up a little bit this weekend. We had the ribs on a stick from our friends over there at Robert's Specialty Meats. And for a little extra sauce, they don't really need it, but if you needed some extra sauce in there, the Pogie Bait was what the favorite was. The sweet and spicy, sweet honey barbecue sauce that Burn Pit Barbecue has. Oh, that stuff was so good. Oh, it just had this big bowl of it. You could just dip all your ribs in it and then put them on your plate and then off you'd go. Oh, it was fantastic. Fantastic. That was from our friends over there at Burn Pit BBQ. BurnPitBBQ.com. That is BurnPitBBQ.com. Aaron Rodgers just made the announcement that he believes this is his last year in the NFL. This is his last year in the NFL, and he is going to go out as the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll see how the season plays out. Here's the eeriness to it. Because we were talking about the what ifs. What if they have a pretty good season, and then, he's kind of like, we were pretty close. One piece here or there, one more year for Will Howard to sit behind me and kind of learn, bridge that gap, yada, yada. Okay? Think about this. Let's just say if the Steelers play really good football, right? I don't necessarily say they win the division, but let's just say they play really good football. They find themselves in the postseason yet again, and they get a little fire. They're one of the better teams, right? In the AFC as the postseason draws near. Rodgers takes them to an AFC championship game. Okay? They're just that close, right? That close. That would give him, what, six or seven championship games to play in? Not Super Bowls, but championship games. Think about this. Say he comes back the next year, and it's just an awful year, right? Remember, it would be almost identical to the path and the career that Favre had. Now, Favre set records along the way, don't get me wrong. Ironman records, touchdowns, interceptions, all that kind of stuff. But think about that, because Favre had the year where he took the Minnesota Vikings to an NFC championship game, and then thus Bountygate came about, where he just got beat up. And he had that infamous pass that Paul Allen called. This isn't Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl, right? Throws that pick. Then the next year comes back. There's optimism. They feel like, hey, we're just a couple of plays away, maybe a player away. And instead, that season, remember, went horrifically wrong. Not only did the team not play well, but the dome collapsed, and they ended up playing at TCF Bank Stadium. And, Favre's last hurrah, the last time we saw Brett Favre in a uniform on a field as an NFL player, he was curled up in the fetal position because he had just gotten drilled again, and they ended up carting him off, never to be seen again. Think about that for a minute. If it would go, it if it would go in that direction, I mean, all the things early on in Aaron's career that he never, ever wanted to duplicate, replicate, whatever, when it came to Brett Favre, it's basically found its way via the same path almost. Crazy how it's been, just short of going to Minnesota. It's been almost just an eerie parallel to what Brett Favre was with the Green Bay Packers. Think of that. So as you begin to see how this season unfolds for Pittsburgh, and obviously Pittsburgh's going to be playing, Green Bay, which is another oddity, that in his last season, he will play the team, much like Favre did, that dealt him away. But think about that if by chance he plays extremely well, that team plays, let's just say TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, everybody stays healthy. DeAndre Hopkins is the real deal. The guys they picked up in the draft, everything starts to come together. Rodgers was the linchpin. They're seeing quarterback play like they haven't seen before because he's got that one hurrah in him. Does Rodgers go out like that? Or does he say, I've got one more year in me? Do the Steelers look at him and go, come on, man, we got one more. We got one more run. So I started when I heard that earlier today, when he made that announcement, that was where my head went. I thought, here we go. I think this is one more, because Favre was always, I think it's one more. I think this is my last one. I'll make a decision. Whatever. So all of that, my first thought was, what happens if he plays really well? What happens if he plays really well? And then this happens. He goes out the same way Favre. Wouldn't it just be like just deja vu? It really would be. Just throwing it out there. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Brad in Sturgeon Bay over on the text line says, hey, Bill, on the flip side, what if Rodgers gets injured after a few games and misses the rest of the season? Do you think that would change his mind about being in his last season? No, I think that would be the stamp of, I'm not doing this again. I'm not rehabbing again. Bob in St. Louis says, well, once again, Aaron Rodgers' career mirrors Brett Favre's. Both of them will have 3 years of football after leaving the Green Bay Packers before they retire. 608 says, I will give you guys credit. You like to generate emotions in your listeners. Guess you got to keep bringing up 4 and 12. Well, they're headlines. Who cares?
It's a big story. It's one of the biggest stars in sports.
That's a dumb statement.
We're not dumping on. Have we been Bill? Maybe I have something in my headphones. Have we been criticizing Rodgers the last 20 minutes?
Not at all.
I don't think so.
It's people say, well, it's your obsession. He just made news. It's not like we're looking for something of Aaron Rodgers to talk about today. He just literally made news. It's not an obsession. He just made news. It is a scroll on many stations right now. So if you think it's an obsession, you're an idiot. Out of the 608 also says, are you kidding me? Do you actually believe the diva? Just another way for him to get in the news. Wish you would stop talking about this very average, very old quarterback. See, that's your wish. That's your thought. That's your problem. That's not mine. That's not my problem. Not at all. That's your problem. But to say it's an obsession, no. He just made news. It literally just broke. If any other quarterback would have said the same thing, if Russell Wilson would have said, today is my last day, I think this is my last year, we'd be talking about it. Kirk Cousins, we'd be talking about it, because we'd be talking about the successes and failures that they had as a longtime quarterback in the National Football League. So because it's Rodgers, you get a big butt hurt because of that. That's on you. That's not on me. That's on you.
Sounds like you have an obsession.
Exactly.
It's just a story.
You have the angst regarding Aaron Rodgers.
And I always say this on my show too. Bill, if there was a Monday Night Football game last night and the Packers were on the practice field today, we wouldn't be doing 15 minutes on this.
Right.
It's June.
Right.
So this is a big story.
Big story when he just dropped it. He literally dropped it about 35 minutes ago. And
dropped it.
That was it.
It still sounds. I told you before the 12 o'clock break. I was like, tell everyone that he dropped a bomb on McAfee, but don't word it like that, because that sounds like it's.
Yeah, it sounds like he took a dump.
It sounds like what goes on your roof outside your bedroom window.
Chris and Chipwa says, wouldn't it be crazy if the Packers actually played the Steelers in the Super Bowl? Rodgers will be playing for the team he beat the last time that he played in a Super Bowl. So there you go. There you go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, please feel free to go ahead and do so. We're going to talk some Brewers baseball when we come back. Chuck Freimund is going to join us. We'll talk with him from the Locked On Brewers podcast about, obviously, this pitching staff, Chad Patrick, and as they move forward. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Yeah, unusual game, huh? How unusual was that? Punch out 16 or 17 and give up 15 hits and something like that. And every little falls foul by an inch, and Durbin steals the base and then overslides. And Terang at first, and perfectly placed triple in the corner by Kind of it's one of those days.
Welcome back. The Bill Michaels Show. Those are the words of Pat Murphy. And it was just one of those things, man. One of those things. It's just a couple of things here and there. They couldn't get that clutch hit to get that extra run in. I even tweeted it out and said, that may come back to haunt them. And certainly it did. It was a 1-run loss yesterday. Got to win the series. Got to win tonight. Got to win tomorrow with the pitching matchup between Skeens and Owczarski. Talking Brewers baseball, joining us now on the hotline, our buddy Chuck Freimund from the Locked On Brewers podcast is here. Chucker, how you doing, pal?
It's funny hearing Murph talk about that, Bill. It's funny. He wasn't complaining when all those breaks go his way.
Right.
And that's baseball. Those things happen. But last year, and so I sort of said this last month, a lot of things have gone his way. Baseball is such, in sports in general, you're just a sliver away from losing or winning a game in most cases anyway.
Right. No, I would agree with that. And we always talk about baseball being that game of inches and game of luck and, a bounce here, a bounce there. So maybe some of the bounces went against them last night, but they have been in a good space, really going all the way back to May and the middle of May. And they've been playing some really good baseball. Still only 3.5 games behind the Cubs. So nothing to look down at. You're tied with the Cardinals, who ended up beating the Cubs last night. But Chad Patrick, all the chat right now, whether or not, I know last night Murph was asked as to whether or not this would play into Chad Patrick's decision as to whether or not they would keep him up with the big league team or they would move him down, because you got Brandon Woodruff ready to come back. There's eventually going to be Nestor Cortez ready to come back. So give me your thoughts on whom is Chad Patrick, the odd man out at this point with three. He has 3 options left too.
Bill, it's not that Patrick is pitching poorly. It's just like of all the starting pitchers, he draws the short straw here. His last 3 starts, he's got an ERA of close to 8. That's not helping him out. He did have 9 Ks last night, but he's given up 4 or more runs in his last 3 starts. So he's the odd man out. Now, a month ago, you wouldn't have said that. You would have said this guy's going to be in the rotation for the rest of the season. But it's a good problem for the Brewers to have,
right,
when they have so much starting pitching. They have guys in the minor league system like Logan Henderson. You can even argue Tobias Myers, who probably would be in a starting rotation somewhere in baseball. I've never seen it like this for the Brewers. They got so many guys they can throw out there on the hill where they can afford to trade an Aaron Savali like they did a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I just think it's going to be Chad Patrick. He's going to be the odd man out. He's going to go down there. We're not going to see him ever again. But eventually, Woodruff is not coming out of the bullpen. You see people on Twitter saying, "Oh, maybe Woody can come out of the bullpen." Mark Attanasio is not going to have Woodruff coming out of the bullpen. They signed Woodruff, having him go through all this rehab to be a starting pitcher in this rotation. He was one of the best starters when he's a starter. He ain't coming out of the bullpen.
Do you think they would use him like that, though, once? And I don't think so either, but do you think they would use him once or twice like that just to get him kind of dip his toe back in before putting him back into the starting rotation? I think if I'm going to bring him back, I'd bring him back. You're going to have Owczarski pitch tomorrow. Woody's going to then have one more rehab assignment. Do you then let him sit until the start after Owczarski to where you would then say if your starting rotation would be Freddie Peralta, Mizorowski, and then Woodruff, Quintana, Priester, Chad Patrick then being the odd man out. Because when you start to look down the barrel of that, if indeed Woodruff can give you anything, that's a pretty staunch rotation, 1, 2, 3.
My gosh, it certainly is. It really is. I mean, when you lay it out like that, it sounds really good, Bill. Yeah, I can see that happening. But he's here. They signed him with the purpose of, they were going to rehab him and they're going to put him back in this rotation. Because if he is any type of pitcher that we saw before the shoulder injury, he's really one of the best pitchers, I think, in the National League. I think he's that good. I think Woody is that good. Now, he's 32 years old. We'll see he comes back. The problem is he's had a multitude of injuries here. With each rehab, trying to rehab one injury, another one pops up. So you've got the shoulder, you got the ankle, and you got the elbow that he took the ball off of while he was rehabbing the ankle. So he's got three things he's trying to fix here. But I think he's going to be fine, and he's indeed going to be in a starting rotation, just a matter of when.
The one thing that Sophia Minich said last night is that through all of this, the shoulder's fine. I mean, that's the one thing that I guess if you're a Brewers fan, you can look at and say, well, at least it appears like the surgery, now knock on wood, was a success. The shoulder he came back from. It's been the ankle, the elbow. It's been those goofy things that have happened along the rehab way. But for the most part, the shoulder itself and the surgery itself has at least seemingly been successful, correct?
Oh, yeah. Seems like that's the least of his problems now. Now, once he gets out in a major league ball game, we'll see. It seems like everything else that he's cropped up along the way is the issue.
Right.
But, he's made like 15 rehab starts so far. I mean, I feel like every other week we're talking about, well, he's going to come back here or he's going to come back there. It's just been an unbelievable journey for the guy. All the way back to spring training as far as rehab starts when he threw a 20-pitch simulated game like in late February. And but hopefully, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's worked hard to get to this point, and when they do get him back, he's going to be a big plus to this rotation on an already stacked rotation.
One of the guys pitching extremely well. They still have Logan Henderson down there, and he's thrown really good in his last few starts. He could be ready to come back as well. So you got Cortez, you got Woodruff, you got Henderson. At some point, Henderson's going to be knocking on the door going, hey, what about me? I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? I guess these things just kind of end up working themselves out. But Henderson's another one that's going to be knocking on that door.
Yeah. And I think he's going to be eventually up here. Well, here's what I think is going to happen. With Cortez, he's supposed to come and be ready like right after the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like what they're going to do with Cortez is they're going to give him a couple of starts and then try to trade him because he's not in the future of this team.
Right.
I think they'll give him a couple of starts and they will try to trade him to somebody. I don't know. But Henderson, who knows when he's going to be called up? If there's an injury, he for sure would be here.
Right.
But if these five guys in this rotation are humming along, there's no reason to bring up Henderson.
Right. Exactly. It's kind of like when they said they brought up Mizorowski too at the right time because there was nothing left to prove in the minors. I mean, Henderson's, he goes a couple more starts where he throws extremely well. I mean, he's probably at the same point as well where you're kind of going, this guy's ready to go. You just don't have the space for him at that point. So who knows? Now that brings me into my next conversation, and that is, do you believe, even though they had this outpouring of run support, again, last night they needed that one clutch hit in the fifth and they just weren't able to get it. That could have put them over the top or at least tied the ball game, and they just didn't get it. So even though this team, where it stands right now, is only 3.5 games back, I still think just because they had a spectacular weekend, they still need to get themselves a bat, probably on the left side of the infield. Do you still think that they're going to end up trying to get themselves a bat?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think they'll try to trade this is where I think they could trade a Cortez, or if he's healthy, or maybe a minor league player or whatever. I think they'll get themselves a bat. I'm not sold that they feel that Ortiz is their shortstop going forward, and they could find that. They could find a third baseman. They may even find themselves a left fielder with Garrett Mitchell out now for who knows how long. He's having that second opinion done on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. I think in left field, Isaac Collins. We all love Isaac Collins. Man, it's a great story. He's going out there. He's overachieving right now. But I think in the long run, you need an upgrade in left field right now if Garrett Mitchell's not coming back.
Well, that's the other thing. You've got Blake Perkins eventually who will come back. But like you mentioned, Garrett Mitchell goes back on the 10-day DL. With how long? I mean, we haven't gotten an update, but let's just say Garrett Mitchell isn't ready to come back by the end of June, obviously. Let's say it's right after July 4th or right after the All-Star break. I mean, you would assume at some point then they're going to be that will be your move for the outfield, him and Blake Perkins being added to that group, which would mean that they're going to be probably stacked in the outfield. So now you're looking for, and Blake Perkins, offensively speaking, his numbers were very comparable to what Garrett Mitchell put up last year, and his glove and his speed is probably just a tick better. So I still think they're going to be looking. I would assume they're going to be looking for an infielder, whether it's second base, shortstop, or third. Because if they find a second baseman and Ortiz goes back into his slump, they could always move. Bryce Terang over to shortstop. But man, I still think they need just one more bat, one more guy that maybe you could say is clutch in some way, shape, or form.
They do. Someone who's going to hit some home runs. Look at the series against Minnesota. Sunday they hit a few, but this team can put up 17 runs and not hit a home run. That's just how they do things. Some ABC baseball. Get them on, get them over, get them in, sacrifice flies, and all that. But that's fine if you're going to win that way. But I still think at the end of the day, you still need another guy in that lineup who's going to be a heart of the order guy who's going to hit you some home runs from time to time.
I want to go back to the Savale trade. They bring in Andrew Vaughn. Do you think eventually he works his way back up to this big league team as well? I mean, the guy in the past has put up numbers. He just is in a terrible slump now.
He is. You get sent down to the minors with the White Sox, you got to be pretty bad.
Right.
And that's what he was. He was just terrible, the White Sox, this past year, the start of the season. So he got sent down. He hit a grand slam the other night for Nashville. But I think the plan is if the Brewers fell out and they trade Rhys Hoskins, Andrew Vaughn to be your first baseman. They may trade Rhys Hoskins anyway. That might be another guy they might deal. Who knows? And unload that contract and bring up Vaughn. I'd be a little bit surprised at that. But I think Vaughn they're trying to see what they have with him. We're talking about a guy who's a highly touted prospect at one time, several years ago, and with the White Sox organization. So I think they're going to let him play it out in the minors right now and see what kind of hand that they got dealt here. And if they trade Rhys Hoskins, for sure, I think Vaughn will probably be up here, unless they trade for another first baseman.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to make a prediction here. By 4th of July, are the Brewers sitting 3.5 back or less, or 4.5 back or more?
Boy, that's a great question. Regrettably, I'm going to say 4.5 back or more.
Okay. I can't argue with it either way. I mean, I was just asking.
Because I think so. No, I don't want Brewer fans to hate me, but I think the Cubs are still the Cubs are kind of been mediocre here in the last several weeks, and the Brewers have been able to close the gap just a tiny little bit here. But as well as the Brewers have the best record in baseball since May 15th. The best record in baseball since May 15th, and they still have only chipped like 3.5 games off that deficit from where they were. So that's the thing is, they're playing so well right now, even though they lost last night, and still haven't been able to shave much off that lead. I think they're going to be in the race all summer long. I think they will. I think they'll make. I feel like fans are feeling that the Cubs are going to eventually make a little bit of a fade here. We will see, but they're going to be in the race, and they're for sure going to be in the wild card chase. It's going to be a fun summer. I like to see this team, though, kick that record over the 10 games over the 500 mark and take it from there. They really had to get to this point where they're 7 games over. They needed to get this point to even have a shot at the Cubs. Right. Had they kept playing 500 baseball, they'd be 10 games out at this point.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Chuck, where can they find you, man?
Oh, Bill, when I'm not on the Bill Michaels show on Tuesdays, you can find me on Google, Spotify, Apple, Locked On Brewers, on every audio platform out there, every podcast platform out there. We're on all of them, Locked On Brewers. And if you're listening to us on the audio platforms, go to YouTube, search Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time drop the episode of Locked On Brewers. And, of course, we're always on they're 24 hours a day accessible, and daily dropping 30-minute podcasts will be on late night tonight after the game. And as always, Bill, It's an honor and a privilege to come on your show on Tuesdays, my friend.
You the man, buddy. You the man. I saw you on Spectrum, too, a little bit earlier. I saw the picture of you guys down there, you and Augie down there on Spectrum. So good stuff there, too.
Well, we had Augie and I had tan wars going on. We both had the tan going on, but he's got a year-round tan because he lives in Scottsdale.
Right. I was going to say, I just saw him in last week in Rice Lake a little bit, hanging out, playing at the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Classic. So good to see him back. Chucker, good to talk to you, my friend. We'll talk to you again next week.
You got to see him.
There you go. That's our buddy Chuck Freimund, Locked On Brewers podcast, joining us for a couple of minutes on the hotline. Going to go ahead and take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up. This portion of it brought to you by our friends over there at Birdie Boys, birdieboysindoorgolf.com. That is Birdie Boys, B-O-Y-Z, birdieboysindoorgolf.com. 6 simulators, a full bar over there. Just go in there on a rainy day, get your swing on, even if it's too hot to play outside. It's cooled in. It's cool and air conditioned inside. 6 simulators. You can play all the famous courses all around the world. Full bar, kitchen, get a little food, watch the TV a little bit, get your swing down if you need to. Leagues available. They do some scrambles. They do some special events over there. That is Birdie Boys, B-O-Y-Z, birdieboysindoorgolf.com. That is birdieboysindoorgolf.com.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
set to go. The Bill Michaels Show. This portion of it brought to you by our friends at Dream Vacation. For all your resorts, your cruise, your sports travel vacation needs, let Michael and Melissa, they can help you plan and book your next amazing getaway. Whether you're got a group of people like we did going to Punta Cana, or you're doing something else. Maybe you want to do a sports travel vacation. Follow the Packers, follow the Brewers, whatever that may be. Maybe you want to take a cruise, travel internationally, whatever it is, they can help you out. That's our friends over there at Dream Vacations. 414-208-4221 anywhere in the state of Wisconsin. 414-208-4221. Again, 414-208-4221. That's our friends Michael and Melissa over there at Dream Vacations. Dream Vacations. Good stuff. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up? Please feel free. We would love to hear from you. The discussion regarding the Brewers, I find interesting. There was this is from Jake. Jake says, I think that Chad Patrick has passed his prime. We've gotten everything we can out of him. He needs to go down and kind of get it back together, maybe get a little bit of a rest in the minors before coming back, if indeed he can work his way back into the rotation. Woody is going to get an opportunity, and then after that, there are others waiting in the wings, including Henderson. I think the Brewers are stacked right now in pitching. It wouldn't surprise me if you get one or two guys that pitch extremely well and the Brewers end up trading them away to find that left-handed bat. Left-handed bat. It's going to play on the left side of the infield. It goes on and on. What do you think they do with Rhys Hoskins? I would not trade Rhys Hoskins away just yet. I would still think about keeping him if indeed you can keep him around and keep his bat in the lineup. He has been one of the legitimate threats that the Brewers have had consistently all season. Even though Yelich has more home runs than he does, he at times can just add power to the lineup that is severely lacking it. You wouldn't want to get rid of that just yet. I think the only way they get rid of Rhys Hoskins is now, again, the only way, and that would be is if down in the minors, Andrew Vaughn, who they picked up in that trade from the White Sox, starts just raking and kind of gets his mojo back. And then here's the thing, as Chuck said, when you're playing for the White Sox, it's kind of like the Siberia of baseball. There's a few teams where you go to right now and you're like, this is just awful. You know, you concentrate on yourself, but when everything just sucks, it sucks. And when you get a guy like Vaughn who finally gets greener pastures and can say, okay, this is what it's like to be in an organization that actually has an opportunity to win and has consistent playoff aspirations, that then can raise your level. And Vaughn's only 27 years old. You know, maybe that's the direction that something like that could go if indeed they got rid of Rhys Hoskins. But Rhys Hoskins, 32 years old, they're not going to be re-signing him to anything. So that might be a trade possibility in the mix, but we'll wait and see. We'll talk more about it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We got another hour of the Bill Michaels Show. Stay tuned. Whole lot more coming up, and it's coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere.
A world-famous Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon presents the 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, beginning August 3rd. The legend, Hank Williams Jr. On August 4th, Tesla. Non-stop entertainment. On August 5th, it gets louder and harder with Disturbed. Full Throttle, where the legends play and the rally never sleeps. And on August 7th, the 25th Annual Bikers Ball with Jackyl. Hold on. Someone's going to win a brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycle. See it all live at the Full Throttle Saloon. Book your stay or get tickets for the shows at fullthrottlesaloon.com. Hurry, tickets are on sale right now. The 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally at the world-famous Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon.
Show you anybody, any guy in the mound, anybody beats anybody any given time. We got to fight back.
Milwaukee going to attempt to fight back by sending Freddie Peralta to the mound tonight. He comes in 7-4 with a 2.76 ERA. He allowed 3 runs over 5 innings in his last start. The Pirates will counter with Andrew Haney. He comes in 3-6 with a 3.94 ERA. He got knocked around his last start, giving up 7 runs over 4 innings against Detroit. Milwaukee enters tonight sitting in a tie for second place in the NL Central with St. Louis and 3.5 games back of the first place Cubs. First pitch tonight set for 6:40.
Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
All business owners want the same thing, to make their business succeed. At Rural Mutual, they help that happen. As the third largest writer of commercial business in Wisconsin, they take the time to learn your business so they can properly protect you. Call your local agent today or visit ruralmutual.com.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, the NBA draft will get going tomorrow night in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. The Bucks not scheduled to pick in tomorrow's first round, with their lone pick in the draft coming up in the second round, which is on Thursday night. That's also where former Wisconsin guard John Tonje could hear his name called. He's moved up most mock drafts and is now projected to go in the middle of the second round. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Jackyl.
Good to have you on board on a kind of a wet Tuesday. Kind of some scattered rain, clouds, whatever, that type of thing. As, as we get a little bit of a reprieve from the heat, which is nice. Good to have you on board. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free. Go ahead and give us a shout. You can also text us 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. You can find us over on YouTube. Go to youtube.com. That's youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels, at Wisco Grant, WISCO, at Wisco Grant. You can also find us on the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok under the Bill Michaels Show. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well. You can email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Also, you can find us on the website, which is thebillmichaels.com. The app from our flagship station in Madison, WOZN, The Zone Madison, is a place you can find us and take us anywhere and everywhere and listen to the program. You can also hear us after the fact on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google podcasts as well. And then in Milwaukee on My 24 TV, that is My 24 TV in Milwaukee, 8 o'clock Central Time on Saturday night. There you go. That's the way to track us down. Kevin says over on the live stream, I don't think they trade Hoskins. He have Vaughn at AAA to assess what they have. If he does well and Hoskins leaves next year, they have somebody to step in or at least provide a short-term option. If the Brewers tank, then perhaps things will be a little bit different, but I think they've learned what happened to a team morale chemistry-wise when Hader was traded while the team was still battling for a playoff spot. I think that's different, though. First of all, Hader was... While he wasn't pitching great, there was an attachment to Hader in the sense that, now I'm not saying there's not an attachment to Hoskins, but if Vaughn is raking, Hoskins, doing okay, and they let him go, I don't know how big of a presence he is in the clubhouse because still your veteran leader would be Christian Yelich. But Hader, remember, had a lot going on family-wise. Remember, Hader's daughter was sick and was being cared for in the ICU over at Children's. He was driving back and forth, basically living at the ballpark and living at the hospital. Wasn't even going home. The families, the guys in the team, everybody was helping him out. He was having success. I mean, granted, he didn't pitch extremely well down the stretch before they traded him, but he was still considered one of the best closers in baseball. He was a well-liked guy in that clubhouse. He had come up with those guys in that clubhouse for the most part. Hoskins was a guy they went out and got. They brought him in, and they knew it was a short-term fix. So it's different. I think the circumstance is different. Now, maybe the likability is the same. What the hell do I know? I'm not in there every day, right? I don't travel with those guys. I don't sit down and break bread with those guys. I don't specifically know. I mean, from what I hear, Rhys Hoskins is a liked guy, but I don't know if the relationship is the same. The love is the same. The depth is the same. as the Hader situation.
There's no shared history like there was with Hader.
Right.
I think there might be with Peralta, and Jeff Passan has a story out today talking about how, that could be an interesting, trade piece. He listed a bunch of players around Major League Baseball. That would be a Hader type player if you were to move him. A lot of guys like him and know him for a long time.
Yes. And think of this. If you trade Hoskins, you're bringing up Vaughn because you believe he's ready, and you're probably trading him for somebody that's going to help your team now. Hader was traded because they didn't want to pay him the money. I mean, otherwise you don't have a reason to really get rid of Rhys Hoskins. If you're going to keep him because. But Hader they got rid of him and everybody knew why. Because they were a first place team and they traded away their asset. And it wasn't like they got a bunch of pieces back that were going to help them right then and there. They were trading him away because of money. And it was deflating because we all knew the reason. It wasn't like, hey, we got to go make a deal and it's going to cost us, Josh Hader to go get this guy, and this guy that are going to help this ball club right here, right now, as we kind of move forward to a National League Central title. That wasn't it. They got rid of him because they said, yeah, we're heading towards the title, but we don't want to pay him. We don't want to lose, and they just got rid of him. When you got the owners saying, we're in the Juan Soto deal. Oh, money's no object. But then they turn around and trade Josh Hader. It's a completely different situation. So I don't necessarily go down that same path. Ed Hankey over there on the live stream says, I didn't like to hear Murphy say he'd like more home runs. Don't want the boys swinging for the fences and screw up their swings, say like the home run derby does. I think he was saying something to the effect of, yeah, we'd like more home runs. Everybody would. But he just the other day called them woodpeckers because they just keep pecking away and scoring runs and the way they did it. So, yeah, you'd like to be able to say, 2 and 3 run home runs in big moments. Yeah, it'd be great to clear the bases that way rather than having to get a base hit and a base hit and a base hit to drive in 2 or 3 runs. So I don't take it as Murph is wanting these guys to start, jacking up and swinging for the fences. I took it as, yeah, we'd like more home runs, but, we're getting the job done. I'm not going to complain. At least that's me. I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but that was just kind of the way I took it. But I agree with you. I don't want anybody in that clubhouse to listen to that going, oh, he wants more home runs out of us, so I'm going to start swinging for the fences. So I agree with that. But I think right now you are who you are. You know what you are. Sal Frelick is your ballpark rat, right? He's the guy that's scrapping and doing anything and everything he can to get on base, to show hustle, to be kind of a leader. Christian Yelich is kind of locked in right now, right? Joey Ortiz for the last 2-3 weeks finally got off the schneid because he's starting to feel pressure, and everybody's talking about trading for a bat for the left side of the infield, So he's picked his game up. Others have as well. Isaac Collins, he's playing for his life right now because he's got options left. They can send him down at any point in time. Garrett Mitchell's itching to come back. Blake Perkins is itching to come back. Your time in the outfield's probably limited. So he's going to do anything and everything he can. Caleb Durbin knows that the number one discussion before he really kind of got into a little bit of a groove, the number one discussion was what they woefully miscalculated the third base position. So you got to go out and find somebody. If this team's going to have any shot of a run, you got to find somebody. So Caleb Durbin's playing for his baseball career right now, at least in the short term. And then you look, as we were just talking about, like Chad Patrick, even though he's young, he's only 26, 27 years old. He has not pitched well in his last 3 outings. Whether it's just a little bit of fatigue, whether he needs to just sit for a little while, go back down to the minors, but that you've got some others knocking on the door. Henderson's knocking on the door. Woodruff's knocking on the door. Cortez is knocking on the door. So I did like what Chuck had to say, where they're going to bring Cortez up eventually and say, okay, here's a couple of starts. Yeah, just before the trade deadline, we may just say that, yeah, you're okay. You go out and give us 5 innings and 2 different starts, and you don't look bad doing it. Then you become somewhat of a trade chip because you're not in the future plans for the Brewers. So it's right now. I guess if you're a Brewers fan, you look at it as saying, you got And I never say too many, right? But you got quite a few options. You got a little bit almost of an embarrassment of riches at this point. Now, injuries can make that go away and evaporate in a heartbeat. So you always take that with a grain of salt. But you've got some options here if you need to make a move. I mean, if you're Matt Arnold, what chips you push to the middle of the table to make a move for a bat, we'll wait and see. But with each passing day and the ability to score runs, the ability to win, it takes the pressure off of Matt Arnold to have to do something in the here and the now. But I think if they're going to make any kind of a legit run and be competitive consistently with the Cubs as they try to battle back and forth in a stretch run from August and September into October, I think you got to get a bat. You got to get a bat or two. And then hope that when Garrett Mitchell comes back, that's why you want to get a good look at Mitchell. You want to get a good look at Perkins. You want to see what guys are doing, because if Mitchell comes back and he remains healthy and he's hitting, Blake Perkins is, playing incredible defense. Your outfield is set. Yelich is still locked in. Churio starts to hit. Contreras you're kind of like, well, wait a minute. This team's got the capability to make a really deep run. They just struggled for the first half of the season. The second half, everybody caught their second win, and here we go. And now you're going, you got to strike while the iron's hot, because you don't know how many chances you're going to have at this. So you got to go. You push your chips to the middle of the table. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, please feel free to go ahead and do so. Ed said basically what I was saying. Maybe it's just the way it came across in the message. He said, that's what I was trying to say, that they're hitting the ball right now. Yes, but it would be nice if they did have more home runs. I agree. I'm not going out and saying that, this is a bad thing. What I'm saying is that the one thing you are missing is consistent clutch, something that's going to be, and you know what, if you find somebody that's going to give you and Tim Allen said it yesterday, he still believes, like I believe, OPS is a great statistic. It is. I get it. It's an all-encompassing statistic, but there still is something to batting average, strikeouts, walks, home runs, RBIs, all of that. You need somebody who not only can provide some amped up offense, but also in doing so begins to protect those around them as well, adds to that lineup. Because we all know that lineup can become beneficial from other successes. So if Yelich stays hot, you get some guys hitting above, 255, 265, getting on base, still stealing bases, and you got another guy in the mid portion to the latter portion of that lineup that provides some pop. Come on. Starts to protect everybody. It changes things. Let's go to Griffin. Griffin, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Doing well, man. What you thinking?
I just saw online recently that Jose Ramirez might be on the block, and not that I'd want to give up Logan Henderson or Mitchell, but I saw that, that might be a trade possibility, or McMahon on the Rockies, and both those guys would definitely add power to the lineup, or, just packaging those young prospects. We have a boatload of them that maybe giving up one or two of them wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right. No, I agree with you. I saw that, that he would be available, and there was a couple of guys off of the Arizona roster that would be available. Both of those guys, one was more of a power hitter, but then you look at their third baseman over there, and they were talking about the possibility of putting him on the market as well, that he might be somebody that might be up for a possible trade, which I'll tell you this, if you find yourself a legitimate third baseman, I think it was Eugenio Suarez, if you can find yourself a legitimate third baseman that's still going to be able to give you some pop in the lineup, I think that cures a lot of ills right here, right now. Because remember, Suarez, I think he came over, didn't he come up with the Reds and then he was traded from Seattle, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe something like that. But yeah, that would be another guy that they maybe in the short term would go after. But yeah, there's quite a few names that are out there that could possibly help the Brewers, or at least stabilize them. to a certain extent. I don't know how much better they'd be than Durbin down at third base, but stabilize them or be better than them, hell yeah, I do that in a heartbeat.
Thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah. If you look at Jose Ramirez, and I mean, if he's available now, we'll have to wait and see what the Guardians do. But if he's available, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, he's got some pop, but he's more of a guy that I think, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be more of a consistent hitter, that bat in the lineup, if you will. Because isn't he hitting about 300 right now? I was just watching, was it Baseball Tonight the other night or something like that, or maybe MLB Game Day? I can't remember. But I think he's creeping in on 300 when you talk. And the Guardians, here's the thing. The Guardians are second in the Central, but they're 8.5 games back. You lose one or two more games, you're a seller. You're not a buyer anymore. Everybody in the Central over there in the American League, except for Detroit, is probably going to be a seller. The Royals, the Twins, the White Sox. So the Guardians are still only 8.5 back. It's not overwhelmingly insurmountable, but going in July, if you're 9.5, 10.5 games back, your season's kind of over. Once you get into those double digits, they're teetering right now. And if they're looking at this going, yeah, we wouldn't mind being sellers, I'd take Jose Ramirez right damn now. It's just what you would have to give up, and probably one of those young arms. Probably one of those young arms. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Find us. We'd love to hear from you. Again, 877-867-1670. Hey, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill right there on Lakeview Boulevard in Pewaukee, and great stuff over there. And whether you're stopping in to cool yourself off, get yourself that big chef salad, which is so good, or you're going to head over there and on a Taco Tuesday, man, they got Taco Tuesday going on. Taco Tuesday over Curly's is always good too. Taco Tuesdays a fun deal over there. They do a lot via Taco Tuesdays in a lot of different events. Yesterday they had the chicken wing day, chicken wings, and they've got really good crab rangoon rolls too. But Taco Tuesday, always good. Free darts today too, double ticket cash raffle giveaway stuff. So yeah, they got all kinds of different things to give away. They got tickets. Actually, they're going to have the Brewers and the Pirates on tonight. They'll have them on tomorrow as well. Free darts all day from 11 a.m. when they opened up earlier today until midnight tonight. And they got the cash raffle going on. They draw that today, but more importantly, it's Taco Tuesdays and enchiladas and seafood tacos and all that kind of good stuff. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill on Lakeview Boulevard in Pewaukee. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The roar of racing is back at Road America. IndyCar, Superbikes, Vintage. The 640 acres of land in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin will shake with the roar of engines. Get your tickets now and secure your spot. Camping sites and corporate hospitality space is available as well. Get your season pass, individual race tickets, and all the information at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Road America, America's national park of speed.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. 6/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. We continue on. Coming up, July 25th, 26th, and 27th, it is German Fest. German Fest gets underway. It's the week before the Wisconsin State Fair and the weekend before we leave for Sturgis as well. German Fest, one of my favorite festivals at the Milwaukee lakefront. The Milwaukee tradition that is German Fest. Go to GermanFest.com. GERMAN Fest.com. GermanFest.com for all the specials, the music, all the different things they have going on coming up for the 2025 season. That, again, is GermanFest.com at the Milwaukee lakefront. The Milwaukee tradition for those all over the state of Wisconsin and in the region that come with their leader hose and all hiked up, ready to go and celebrate the German heritage that is. That is GermanFest.com. That is GermanFest.com. A couple of emails I wanted to get to. This is from Jimmy. Jimmy says, hey, by the way, there are prop bets out for tomorrow, in case you didn't know. This goes back to our buddy Jimmy, who says, I remember my dad taking me to see the Hall of Famer Steve Carlton face off against Dwight Gooden in Gooden's second year. The date was April 20th, 1985. Carlton threw 7 shutout innings, giving up only a couple of hits, while Gooden pitched 8 shutout innings, giving up only 3 hits. The Mets eventually won 1-0. As great as that was, only Gooden was a young pitcher at the time. The side note, that 1985 season for Dwight Gooden was the highest WAR for a pitcher since 1913. So possibly the best pitching season ever. I only hope that the people in Milwaukee have as memorable an experience tomorrow afternoon as I did a little over 40 years ago. The odds makers at betonline.ag have created some intriguing props for this pitching duel. Keep in mind that last year Skeens started the All-Star game and was Rookie of the Year. This year Skeens is an overwhelming favorite to win the Cy Young, while after only 2 starts, Mizorowski is now the new favorite for Rookie of the Year. Think about that. So these prop bets, Skeens versus Mizorowski. The game line, Pirates minus 134. Over and under is 7 runs. Paul Skeens hits allowed, 3.5. Paul Skeens runs allowed, 1.5. His strikeouts, 7.5. His pitches, 100 plus miles an hour, 2.5. Jacob Mizorowski. Hits allowed, the over and under is 3. Remember, he has only allowed 1 hit in 11 innings so far. Jacob Mizorowski runs allowed, the over and under is 1.5. His strikeouts is 5.5. His pitches at 100 plus miles an hour is 21.5. In 2 starts, Mizorowski has thrown 3 pitches at 102, 15 at 101, and 25 at 100. There you go. There you go. Paul Skeens, when you talk about the NL Cy Young, he is the favorite right now. Zach Wheeler, Logan Webb, all that kind of good stuff. And then the Rookie of the Year already vaulted to the top of that list is Jacob Mizorowski, followed by Drake Baldwin, Augustine Ramirez, Chase Burns, and it goes on from there. But how about that? They've
watch them both get shelled tomorrow.
I know, right?
Wouldn't that be the way that it goes?
That'd be terrible. But they do have prop bets at betonline.ag for all of this. The first player to hit a batter is exactly the same. Both of them are minus 120. Both of them are minus 120. So
people will bet on anything. You're not even getting good. You're not even getting good odds there,
right? Yeah. Go to betonline.ag and you can kind of see all of those bets right now. But yeah, how about that? They already have prop bets out for this pitching matchup tomorrow, which is fantastic. I love it. Michael says, I don't believe Mitchell is coming back anytime soon. He's getting a second opinion. That usually means the news is not good. Perkins hopefully back after the All-Star break. Murphy has stuck with Durbin and Ortiz. I still don't think any big bats will be added. Depends on what you mean by big bat. Will they go out and get somebody? And now you're talking a big bat that's going to give you 35 home runs, or you're talking a big bat that's going to hit 300 or 285 plus, or you're just talking a bat in general? Because I don't think they're going to. It'd be great if there was somebody they could go get that was going to give you a 280 batting average, or somebody that was going to give you 265 batting average, but the capability in the second half of the season to give you 30 home runs, 25 home runs, something like that. That'd be fantastic. Those are what I consider to be big bats. I'd say the likelihood of that happening, probably 20%, I'd say. But the likelihood of them making a move, I'd say 60%. It's a little bit better than 50-50. Depending, now again, that could change next week. Suppose they, for whatever reason, they get beat 2 out of 3 by Pittsburgh, and God forbid they get beat 2 out of 3 by Colorado. And all of a sudden they find themselves back to 6.5, 7.5 games back. Well, then that changes things. That's why today and tomorrow is so important regarding this particular series. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up? Do it. We would love to hear from you. Again, 877-867-1670. Find us. This portion of the program brought to you by our good friends over there at Sobelman's Pub and Grill. Good people over there at Sobelman's. Great people over there at Sobelman's. Always great to get over there and catch up, hang out a little bit. They've been around in Milwaukee on St. Paul Avenue for 25 plus years. Sobelman's Pub and Grill. Also, they're in Waukesha on William Street. And as they say, let's catch up. Let's meet.
Meet at Sobelman's.
Milwaukee and Waukesha. Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Folks, OKC has one elite scorer. He had 3 bad games, shot 24% from 3. Chet Holmgren disappeared for 5 games. J-Dub disappeared for several, and they won. That's the champion. I'm not sure they do if Halliburton remains in the game. The new NBA, it's like you're battling the CBA as much as opponents.
Welcome back to Bill Michaels Show. As the NBA season has culminated, thanks for joining us today, and we'll get back to some Brewers talk coming up here shortly. The NBA season has finalized itself, and now you start to look forward to the offseason where not one team is flush with cash. They're all above the salary tax, we'll say. And to talk a little bit more about what the offseason is going to look like for the Bucks, and now the Drue Holiday has been moved from the Celtics back to Portland. Kind of interesting stuff there. Jim Owczarski from the Journal-Sentinel covering the Bucks and putting a cap on the NBA season, joining us on the hotline. Jim, how you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm good, Bill. Yeah, you're right. It's the NBA seems to just kind of kick itself in the foot all the time, right? Like as you said, Bill, it's the season just ended, and yet the draft is tomorrow. And they just sort of don't let things marinate, do they?
No, and free agency began yesterday. So, there was not some flurry of free agent deals like we see in the NFL because nobody's got cash in the NBA. I was going through all the team salary caps and everybody's in the negative. It just depends on how deep you are in the negative. Now, Boston just got rid of some salary by trading away Drue Holiday, so they're the second most buried team in the NBA, and they're going to continue to do some more work to kind of alleviate that problem. But the Bucks are kind of in the middle of all of that. So everybody's looking to make a deal. Everybody's looking for that mid-level exception. Everybody's looking for probably a 2 or 3 team deal. So how difficult is this offseason going to be?
Yeah, what's funny, Bill, is so just to catch some fans up, right? Like the Drue Holiday deal, the Kevin Durant deal. So things like this are going to be reported, sourced out, etc. But they really can't be official until July 6th. And so what does that mean? That means, okay, these teams in general have agreed in principle, right? Well, what it does, Bill, is it opens the door then for other teams, maybe the Bucks, to somehow get themselves involved, right? The parameters are in place, and now other teams can try to wedge in picks, second-round picks, sweeteners, other deals. And you're right, by July 6th, this Durant thing, this Drue Holiday thing can suddenly be a 3-4 team deal. And that's really what's going on right now because, to your point, Bill, the free agency is kind of dead in the NBA. I mean,
right.
Brooklyn's the only team with cap space, and they're tanking again. I mean, their cap space is going to be used to sort of acquire bad contracts or maybe be the 4th team in a facilitating deal. So you're right, Bill. It'll get busy. It'll be interesting, but it's not in the way most people remember.
Okay, so let's look at this because Indiana's got Halliburton, probably not going to play next year. You've got Jason Tatum down, probably not going to play for a majority of next year. They just got rid of Drue Holiday. It looks like Porzingis or somebody else might be on the market as well, depending on what they end up doing because they're breaking that up to get way under that second-tier level of salary cap. Cleveland is still good. They're going to have to re-sign some of their own eventually. We know the Knicks are maybe the favorite right now in the East. The Knicks are Cleveland. I saw somewhere that I was looking at betonline.ag. I think the Philadelphia 76ers are maybe 5th picked 5th right now, if I'm not mistaken, to win the East, and the Bucks not far behind them. I mean, the East to me, short of maybe Cleveland and New York, kind of wide open right now, isn't it?
I mean, you're right, Bill, and it was to begin with. So let's rewind it back to the Bucks' disappointing loss to the Pacers, right? And everyone's sort of freaking out. And now, the Pacers are, maybe a play-in team. They were a team that was always greater than the sum of its parts. But let's not make a mistake here. Tyrese Halliburton is the reason they're as good as they are. And,
right.
They're now a 40-win team, maybe playing. I mean, it'll be a pain in the butt, but it's not the same group. Boston, to your point, this was the end of their window. Even if Jason Tatum was healthy, Bill, they would still be making these moves.
Right.
So they're going to be less. Let's put it this way: they will be less than what they were, even if they keep Jaylen Brown. Anthony Simons, we'll see if he stays there. But yeah, there's nothing in a vacuum here, Bill. So maybe Giannis and the Bucks were really disappointed. Maybe they were nervous about where next year could go. But to your point, Cleveland is the clear number 1 seed at this point. But even then, Darius Garland's still going to miss the first couple months of the season. And the Knicks, Bill, I'll give you this. Look, they're a good team. Who knows who their coach is? But based on talent, Bill, let's slot them in number 2, and then after that, Orlando. I mean,
right,
look, Bill,
right.
It's still, you're still talking about the best player in the conference resides in Milwaukee, and we'll see what John Horst does. But it's right now, if the Bucks can do some smart things, I don't think they beat Cleveland over 82 games. We'll put it that way, right? The Cavs seem destined for another really good run as a regular season team. But are the Bucks that far away from the 2 seed? I'd argue not, because they were just 3 games out of the 3 seed last year, and the top of the conference has really been decimated.
So now that there has been this landscape shuffle, is there anything either rumor-wise or maybe just player availability that you've kind of got your eye on going, this might not be a bad deal for the Bucks, a direction in which they should go?
Yeah, this is interesting. So, Bill, I wondered if ownership, and I do believe this would be an ownership call, how willing they would be to flirt with trading that 2031 first this year. And what I mean by that is so by getting under the tax that pick is or out of the apron, it's unfrozen. They can trade that pick. Now, next summer, if they wanted to wait, they could package multiple future firsts and maybe, reboot, trade Dame and kind of redo this all again. I wonder, Bill, either does this summer, this uncertainty in the East, do the Bucks say, wow, if we put the 31 on the table, is the market so depressed? Is there a way we can get us, I don't want to call a star, but that kind of guy, like that 26-year-old who's under contract for 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that guy? I don't know. Or does ownership look at it and say, wow, well, the East is kind of crappy. Do we need to put that in play now? Can we wait a year? And I don't know the answers to that, Bill, but I do think I just kind of wonder where the Bucks sort of stand. And look, we're hoping to maybe talk to John Horst here, in the next couple of days with the draft. We haven't spoken to him since the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can answer some of those questions for us. But I guess I'm looking at that. I'm curious where ownership stands on moving those real long-term future assets. Is it like, is it more in play? Or is it, oh, no, let's just wait a little bit because we don't have to do it? I'm curious about that.
And the Bucks do not have a first-round pick this year. They've got a second, but they don't have a first. So it's not like they're sitting there flush with the ability to say, hey, we've got a draft choice we can give you in the here and the now to go out and find that particular player this season.
Exactly right, Bill. It's just a second-round pick they got sort of in the Chris Middleton, that kind of 14 deal they were a part of at the deadline. Oh, look, Pat Connaughton opted in a couple days ago. It was before his deadline was actually the 24th, Bill. He opted in early, so maybe the team has been working now these last few days to see if they can include him and that $9 million in the contract. So I do think the Bucks are going to get involved here, Bill. But again, it could be more likely to be a second, third team type of situation because, frankly, while they do have options in free agency, they really are limited trade-wise. You know, Pat's really it. Dame's hurt, right? Like, there's really no one else under contract yet. And so we'll just kind of have to see where they can maybe do a touch point with one of those second-round picks and Pat Connaughton.
So off-season, we know we're waiting to find out what deals can be made, and we're obviously waiting to hear what John Horst has to say. And I'm anxious to see what's going to transpire, specifically as this is kind of that, you know, if you want to equate it to the NFL, this is the legal tampering period right now where you can go and make these deals, but nothing can be officially signed, like you said, until July, the first week of July. So I think right now is this like the hot time right now, this next 24 hours, 48 hours, where we may see one or two deals go down because of draft choices and positioning and what is more not available than what is available when it comes to free agency?
Yeah, I think so. Because again, it sort of sets the parameters for early July, right? Look, if there are teams looking to move picks, and there are, look, Bill, let's just look at the champs, Oklahoma City. I think they currently have 2 first-round picks. Well, guess what? They've already got 15 guaranteed roster spots. They literally cannot acquire any more players by rule. So that means they have to trade guys. Washington, multiple first-round picks. They also literally cannot acquire more players as we speak. So you've got a handful of teams, Bill. Not only is there no money, some of these teams just don't have roster spots. So you're right. These next few days are going to be really interesting with sort of moving around, whether it's moving these picks because they just have to. You know, Houston's in the same boat in some regards there, Bill, where they've got these future assets or assets that look that we just can't roster these players. So yeah, I think you know the picks obviously have to be done in order to be drafted in the next day. But like the Holiday, the Durant, things like that, we're going to see the build outs of it, the framework of it, and then these other teams sort of trying to get in over the next week.
Jim, great stuff as always, bud. We appreciate it, and we'll do a little bit of a wrap next week once we get past the draft and any other deals that go down this week that are going to be mentioned, because we're all coming up on that 4th of July weekend, which I can't believe. So we're only a couple of weeks away from this whole thing being culminated. Great stuff as always, bud. I appreciate it.
All right, sounds good. Speak to you then.
There you go. Jim Owczarski of the Journal Sentinel joining us for a couple of minutes on the hotline. Always appreciate his perspective. And he's right. There's going to be a lot going on. A lot going on. But as far as the draft stuff goes, Bucks, unless the Bucks do something to where they're going to trade into the first, they don't even have a first-round pick. So, and they don't have a first-round pick for a long time. So what the Bucks can do, how much, you know, the draft is going to mean coming up tomorrow night, you know, it's going to be kind of a yawner, to be perfectly honest with you. This portion of the program, man, what a weekend it was. It was brought to you by our friends at Robert's Specialty Meats. Now, if you're doing a little grilling down at the ballpark, a little tailgate tonight, maybe tailgate tomorrow, tailgate when the Colorado Rockies come to town as you cheer on your Brewers, you can always do it. Stop in down on Sunset Drive in Waukesha. That's Robert's Specialty Meats, Waukesha.com. And this past weekend, we had ribs on a stick. We had the pre-made burgers that had 2 different types of cheeses in them, which was awesome. We had also the beer batter brats, the spicy hot Italians, and we had one other, I can't remember what it was. Oh, we had the bacon wrapped jalapenos from down there at Robert's Specialty Meats in Waukesha. Oh my God, it was fantastic. And everybody raved about it. There was one thing everybody left saying, that the food was so good. Now, I grilled it, but I didn't put it together. They did. And all you got to do is just heat it up, grill it a little bit, flame it, off you go. And it was fantastic. So Robert's Specialty Meats in Waukesha on Sunset Drive in Waukesha. And like I said, if you're going to do some tailgating, this is the place to go. They got a lot of and Al Capone sausages. That was the other thing we made. So Al Capone, do some Al Capone. Little provolone in there or Parmesan, and then throw just a little bit of like marinara in there. Oh my goodness, that is so good. So good. Fantastic stuff from our friends at Robert's Specialty Meats in Waukesha. And they are, by the way, your hometown butcher. Again, go to Robert's Specialty Meats, Waukesha.com. That's Robert's Specialty Meats, Waukesha.com. Beantown.com. We wrap it up coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in 6/30/2025. Bill Michaels here. Your two wheels revved up because here it comes. The Big River Rally where the river meets the road. It rolls into La Crosse on June 27th and 28th. Join us for a weekend packed with action. Stunt shows, a killer bike show, food trucks, all kinds of awesome vendors. Friday, Rod's River Run with Texas Hippie Coalition lighting up the stage that night. Then Saturday is the Big River Rally ride. Miles and miles of pure freedom. Then Saturday night, Drowning Pool rocks the house. Grab your tickets right now. BigRiverRally.com. That's BigRiverRally.com, and I'll see you there.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes.
You want local sports coverage? You got it. The Big and Bill Michaels here. Join me right here on My 24 every week for the very best Wisconsin sports coverage. We'll break down the big matchups, get inside the locker room access, fan feedback, and plenty of big-name guests. It's Bill Michaels, Wisconsin Sports Weekly, and it's brought to you by these great local sponsors.
Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in Michael Show. Get ready to wrap things up. I want to remind you, if you are a bicyclist, big ride coming up August 9th and 10th in the upper portion of Wisconsin and in the UP. And it's called the WIMI, Wimmy Wish Ride, the Wimmy Wish Ride. And it's going to benefit both Make-A-Wish Wisconsin and Make-A-Wish Michigan. And it's August 9th and 10th. You're going to go from, you're going to start out in Marinette, Wisconsin, then go to Kingsford, Michigan, and then ride back in 2 days, 200 miles. So if you're a bicyclist, this is their first ever attempt at doing this. Okay, so on the 9th, you go from Marinette, Wisconsin to Kingsford, Michigan, and on the 10th, you do the opposite. So if you're a bicyclist and this is your deal, man, this is your jam. 200 miles, it's going to raise a lot of money, hopefully. It's going to raise a lot of money for both Make-A-Wish Wisconsin and Make-A-Wish Michigan. If you want to see the information or to get registered, all you got to do is go to WIMI, Wimmy Wish Ride, WIMI wishride.org. That's WIMI wishride.org and get signed up. It's going to be a great ride, a very scenic ride going through the UP. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people looking forward to that. So there you go. What else do we have going on tomorrow? Anything? We got a little NBA draft stuff, I guess, tomorrow, if there is any news.
You're off tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow. I'm going to be going to the Brewers game. But what do you got tomorrow? Anything?
So I have Sam Brookhouse, who you've had before from Sumer Sports.
Good, yeah.
And then you know what? I'm in a good mood today. You see TR on the chat.
Yeah.
Talk Marquette. And then he asked a little bit ago, any NBA draft talk? I'm like, well, Cam Jones is getting a lot of buzz around the draft. I think he's going to be a good NBA player. And John Tonje is probably going to pick too.
Sure.
So I texted just a couple minutes ago, Isaac Trotter, who's with CBS Sports, 24/7 Sports, really good. And he can't do tomorrow during your time, but he's going to be on with me tonight. So TR, I will replay that 10-minute segment for you tomorrow, and I will give you a little bit of Marquette talk.
There you go.
So an NFL guest, and then obviously we're going to talk about Owczarski Skeens tomorrow too.
There you go. Good stuff. So all of that upcoming, and I'm back on Thursday. I'll be back in tomorrow. I've got an event I'm doing prior to the ball game tomorrow. So, and then I got a ticket. So I'm like, what the hell? I can't run down there, do the prior to the event, and then the game starts at 1 and then be back here by 2 before 2. It just was like, you know what? Take tomorrow off. It doesn't happen very often. So Grant's got tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday, and then obviously on Friday, and then Friday after I get off the air, going to be heading off to La Crosse, and they're going to be there for the Big River Rally coming up this weekend. I'm really looking forward to that as well. So it should be a good time coming up. But the rest of the week should be a lot of fun. So we'll see. And then when I'm back on Thursday, we'll talk about whatever happened to go down during the NBA draft, if indeed the Bucks make any kind of a move, or if they have a draft choice or don't, or they trade things away. So I think you're going to see quite a bit of movement maybe tomorrow and tomorrow night. So we'll get into that discussion as well. So that's kind of it. That's going to do it for us today. Good stuff. Obviously, thanks to Jim Owczarski, thanks to Chuck Freimund, thanks to Jesse James Dupree from the band Jackyl, who came on and talked to us about a lot of things going on when it comes to the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and the specials that they have going on out there. And the big news of the day, I guess, Aaron Rodgers dropped the bomb that this is going to upcoming, most likely his last season. So all of that today happened today on the program. So good stuff. That's going to do it. Time for us to get out of here until Grant talks to you again. 20 hours